The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The New York Jets have made a move. They have added a wide receiver to the wide receiver room. Will it move the needle? Does it impact future plans? We'll break that down and much more. Plus, the winners of the ASMANIAC Raffle, our 2010 Jets theme, will be announced at the start of the show. We got 6 winners. That's coming up, and ASMANIAC Madness continues. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
We have Josh Reynolds. The New York Jets have signed the veteran wide receiver to, you guessed it, a 1-year deal for $2.75 million. Now, look, we'll talk more about the signing after the raffle announcement here, but anytime the Jets make a move at this stage, if it's anything more than a 1-year deal, you'd be stunned, because other than the Field signing and the Stevens signing, every move has been a 1-year deal. That's the approach this regime is taking in free agency, and I think it speaks volumes on what they're going to attempt to do in this year's draft. Essentially, nail their early picks, their 3 picks in the top 73, because if they don't nail those picks and come away with multiple starters, especially at 7, where that player doesn't just need to be a starter, he's got to be someone that's really good. I don't know how this team is going to be a lot better than what the now Vegas win total is projecting, around 5.5. But we'll get to all that and more coming up, because I do think the Reynolds signing does open the door now for another roster move that could be coming in a couple of weeks. And I'll explain what I mean by that in just a bit. But right now, let's do the raffle. Thank you to everyone who's gifted a membership or sent in a high enough super chat to qualify. We got 6 awesome prizes, and I'm excited to give those away. If you're new to the show, we do these every week. This is our 20th ASMANIAC Raffle. We started it on December 1st. And since it's been so successful and has been great for the channel, we're going to keep it rolling for as long as we can. So here's how this goes. I have everyone who gifted a membership or sent in the requisite super chat allotment entered in a random name generator. This random name generator is in the form of a wheel. So now, without further ado, I'm going to pull up the wheel of Jake Asman Show greatness. You'll see it here on your screen. And we will randomly select 6 winners for our top prizes. Our first one is the signed Darrelle Revis helmet. And for the first time ever, we now have raffle music. Hit it. Oh, yeah. It's happening, folks. Here we go. The Darrelle Revis signed helmet's our top prize. And reminder, if you win a prize in the raffle, you can't win a second prize in the same raffle. Let's spin the wheel. Our winner of the Revis signed helmet is Peter Castro. How about it? Peter Castro with 2 wins this week. A win at ASMANIAC Madness, and now a signed Darrelle Revis helmet. Congrats, Peter. So we're going to remove Peter's name now from the raffle, and that will now allow us to give everyone a chance here to win our second prize, which is a signed helmet by Jets head coach, former Jets head coach, friend of the show, Rex Ryan. Here we go. Spin the wheel. Prize 2. What happened to my music? Hold on. I'm putting the music back on. Here we go. And the winner is Jeffrey Now, I believe this is Jeffrey Malillo, I believe, who was on Patreon and Discord. So, Jeffrey, shoot me a message there or email me, asmanjake@gmail, the address that I will send the signed Rex Ryan helmet out to, hopefully later today if I can make it in time, to the post office. All right, let's remove Jeffrey's entries in here because we still have several big prizes to dish out. Our third place prize in this morning's ASMANIAC raffle is a signed jersey by, can't wait, Jets linebacker Bart Scott. Here we go. Spin the wheel. The winner is Mimosa McNerney. Who else? Mimosa, I think, has won the most amount of prizes since we started doing this, and it's well-deserved. Now, Mimosa, you have so many entries, but I noticed you changed your YouTube name from Mimosa McNerney to Mimosa. So some of them say Mimosa, some of them say Mimosa McNerney. It all counts for one. So if we do get a just normal Mimosa now, just know that that is separate. So you can't win twice, essentially. But you won that one, and that's all that matters. So congrats to Mimosa. She wins the signed Bart Scott jersey. All right, here we go. Next, we're giving away a signed Santonio Holmes helmet. We got 3 prizes left. Spin the wheel. Here we go. And the winner of the Tone Time helmet is Bo C. Well-deserved, Bo. You had a ton of entries this week, and we can't thank you enough for that. Bo C is your winner of the Tone Time helmet in our 2010 Jets theme raffle. Okay, 2 prizes left here. They're great ones. Next one is a signed helmet by Crow, Antonio Cromartie. Aaron Glenn wore 31. Antonio Cromartie wore 31. Both were excellent corners during their time, of course, with the Jets. Here we go. The winner of the Cromartie helmet is Indy Jets. Indy, that's awesome. Shoot me your address. I know you're on Discord, or email me. We've emailed before, and I will get that sent out to you. All right, here we go. That means we got 1 prize left. Our 6th and final prize in this week's ASMANIAC raffle. It's a signed jersey by Jets legend Nick Mangold. Here we go. The wheel is spinning, and magic is in the air. And the winner is Lawrence Hobson. Lawrence, congratulations. I don't know if I have your info or not. If you're on Discord or Patreon, you can message me there or email me, asmanjake@gmail, and I will make sure we get your signed Mangold jersey out there. Okay, for those just tuning in, just a quick recap here of who won. Peter Castro, our grand prize winner. He is the winner of the signed Darrelle Revis helmet. Our second place prize features the signed Rex Ryan helmet. Hold on, StreamYard is still being annoying here. Signed Rex Ryan helmet is prize 2. That is going to Jeffrey. Signed Bart Scott jersey's going to Mimosa. Bo C won the signed Santonio Holmes helmet. Indy Jets won the signed Antonio Cromartie helmet. And Lawrence Hobson won the signed Nick Mangold jersey. Congrats to all our winners. Can't thank you all enough for supporting this crazy show that we do each and every day. All right, now, I'm not going to leave you guys empty-handed here. You ready for this week's grand prize? Our theme for this upcoming week's raffle is Super Bowl III, baby. So we're giving away our grand prize, a signed Joe Namath helmet. And notice the helmet is the helmet that Namath wore during his playing days as far as the style goes. It's not the new school version of the helmet. So signed Namath helmet. We've given a few Namath helmets out in the past. We're stepping it up for this one. So if you want in, get the membership for your chance to win a signed Namath helmet. And prize 2, we're back with more, baby. Signed Don Maynard helmet. So the 2 Hall of Famers on the Super Bowl III Jets. Maybe we'll do Winston Hill, so we'll get 3 Hall of Famers. And maybe something from Weeb Eubank. But we need memberships for that. But for right now, we get the Namath signed old school helmet and the signed Don Maynard helmet. Those are the top 2 prizes in ASMANIAC raffle number 21. So thank you all for supporting the show. Speaking of supporting the show, a bunch of you have already bought tickets to our draft party. Can't thank you enough. Shout out to listener Alvin, who I met at Billy's yesterday, who bought his ticket right on the spot to the draft party when I ran into him at the Yankees game yesterday. If you want to go, click the link in the description and get your spot. When we sell out, we sell out. So reserve your spot. General admission's $30. You get a complimentary drink with that and an entry into our ASMANIAC raffle that night. And that night, guess what? We're giving away some great prizes, too. We're giving away a signed Sauce jersey, signed Klecko jersey, signed Mangold jersey, signed Jermaine Johnson jersey, amongst other prizes. So thank you to everyone who bought a draft ticket as well. Before we talk about Josh Reynolds, holy crap, Rick Kent right away, giving us a 10 spot for the people. Let's go, Rick.
It's the ASMANIAC membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
We're back to making it rain, baby. Rick Kent getting us going here. Ladies and gentlemen, our guy, Rick Kent, in for 20. That means it's raining channel memberships. And when that happens, you grab your Gustbuster umbrella and you prepare accordingly. Here we go. I got 20 names to read off, courtesy of the Rick Kent. If you hear your name called, you thank Rick. Big Islander fan, Roll Top, D-Rock, AJ, TX, Jet Set Go, Ali Shafi, Canuck Jets 96, Caro Du Bois, Fly By Night, Drew Balcom, Jomana Ops, Jet Fan 911, K Brock the Jet Fan, Chris M, Luke, GMB, Jeff. Congratulations to everyone who got a membership there from Rick. Oh, wait, there's more loading here. We're not done just yet. Ron G, also getting a membership there, and I think that was 20. All right, YouTube is a little glitchy right now. Shocking, I know. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about... Oh, we're not talking about Josh Reynolds just yet. Another 20 bomb here. Bo C, who just won one of our prizes. I think it was the San Antonio home sign helmet. He's trying again. 20 more entries in the ASMANIAC raffle. Goose McGee, Brian Rapp, I miss old Howard Stern. Me too. King Blaze, Peter Borburo, Garrett Lochier, Zach Cartwright, KJH, Sicilian Zip, Wesley Gates, Adam J., Dan Krumnaker, Dan Hillis, Ray Noble, all receiving memberships there from the Rick Kent. Also, I believe I missed a couple of people. Did I say Goose McGee? I don't know. That might have been 20. It might have not been. YouTube's glitching. A membership explosion, courtesy of Rick and Bo. Dan the Jet Fan, you're in the raffle as well. You actually gifted before anyone today. We got you down for that. All right. Thank you very much to everyone for your continuous support. If you want a prize, please reach out to me, and I will make sure we get your prizes sent out as quickly as we can. Let's talk about the signing by the Jets. Look, I'm not going to sit here and criticize the Jets for signing Josh Reynolds. Like, to me, Josh Reynolds is an Allen Lazard replacement. Have you seen their career numbers? They're almost identical. The New York Jets are not keeping Allen Lazard on this team. They could try and lie in the media and say, oh, we might bring him back if we can't find a trade partner. Until I see Aaron Rodgers sign with a team and Allen Lazard's not there, I think the Jets are holding on to Allen Lazard to see if they can maybe get a 7th-round pick. Maybe they could trade a 7th and get a 6th back, you know, like kind of one of those kind of pick swaps. I don't see any scenario where Allen Lazard is on the Jets. So you bring in Josh Reynolds. He's a Lazard replacement. You're going to be able to save money after June 1 when you cut Lazard anyway. So there's no scenario to me where Lazard's on the team. I don't believe it. You know, maybe I'm dead wrong, but when I saw the news of the signing, I go, oh, okay, you needed to add somebody to the room. I mean, look at the depth chart right now, folks. Yeah, Garrett Wilson. And who? Right? Malachi Corley, I don't know what he is. Xavier Gibson, I think we kind of know what he is. He's not a great player. He's okay special teamer. You know, we thank him for week 1, 2023, but, I mean, come on. Irvin Charles, Brandon Smith. I mean, look at this depth chart. It's pathetic. You know, and not to bring up the Rodgers debate, but that was a big reason why I was like, bring Aaron back for a year as the bridge, because you're going to get Devontae for another year. Now we have a gaping hole in the wide receiver room, and Josh Reynolds at least is competent. Now, he's coming off a year where he barely played. He had the incident with the shooting at the strip club, and thankfully he's okay, but he didn't have a great year. But, you know, you look at his career stats as I put him on the screen, this guy at least has been competent. He's played in the Lions offense that we assume Tanner Engstrand's going to run. Muji knows him from Denver. So I'm sure he's a good locker room guy if they're bringing him in. Good work ethic. But this guy's your Lazard replacement. I still think the Jets need to add another veteran. I don't know why they're not interested in Tyler Lockett. I don't know why they, haven't tried to sign someone more established than Reynolds, but they needed to add someone, and now they have. So if you look at the depth chart through the lens of, let's say, if my prediction is accurate here, Reynolds is going to end up replacing Lazard. You have Garrett. You have Reynolds, who immediately becomes your second best wide receiver. Corley, Tyler Johnson. Like, this screams we need multiple weapons in the draft. Could be as early as 7 with a tight end or a receiver. Could be at pick 42. Could be at pick 42 and 73. So, ultimately, this guy is, my understanding, just watching some film on him, and I saw Fialco posted a couple clips on his Twitter account. Pretty good blocker, a willing blocker. And you need to add a couple guys if you're installing a new offense that already probably know the offense, right? To make it easier for people to learn the offense. Like Tanner Engstrand's trying to install a brand new system. Well, what's the best way to do that? Well, I'd imagine the best way to do that is to bring in at least a couple guys who have played in the system before who can make it easier for the people learning the offense. So, to me, when you see the details and it's 1 year, $2.75 million, I tells you all you need to know. It's another one of the bargain bin signings that the Jets have made this offseason. And this one's not a bad signing. It's just, are we going to get that fired up over Josh Reynolds? No. To me, it just points to a couple things. What I said about Lazard not being here, because I'd be shocked if he is, and the need for the Jets to hit a home run in the draft with offensive players. And we've talked about the bleak history of the Jets trying to hit on guys that play receiver or tight end that can have an impact outside of the first round. It's abysmal. And for Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn to have success in year one, feels like they got to come away with at least one, if not two, impact guys on day 2. Now, things change if they trade back into round 1. And, we talked about the dart smoke and all that. But hey, you sign Josh Reynolds, it doesn't change the clear need that you have to add weapons to that room. You didn't bring back Conklin. You didn't bring back Devontae. I'm telling you, Lazard will not be on this team. I'd be shocked if he is. You have Garrett Wilson and no one right now. So if you don't take a wide receiver at 7, which feels unlikely, I don't think they're going to take Ted McMillan. Maybe they could trade back and do it. Maybe they trade back and take. I actually think if the Jets traded back and they wanted a receiver, Golden would be higher on their board than Ted, just based on Aaron Glenn's comments about how the first thing he looks at with players is speed. Speed is so important to him, he said. I mean, Golden's the fastest player in the draft, arguably. One of them. So, with that said, I think Warren is still in play at 7. He's a weapon. You got to look at Warren through the terms of he'd be your second best, receiving option, not just that he's a tight end. If they take a lineman, either Graham or one of the tackles at 7, then I feel like the second round pick has to be a receiver. Could one of the guys with first round grades slide to pick 42 or slide just out of the first round, then you go up and get that guy, right? Like there's some good receivers in this draft class if you're looking for a wide receiver 2, which the Jets are. They have a 1. We can debate where Garrett Wilson ranks in the NFL. He's not 45. I'll tell you that much. A dumbass Kirk Benkert who said that is just trying to get clicks from Jet fans, so don't give him that. But, you could debate where Garrett is. He's anywhere, to me, from 10 to 15. He's a number 1 wide receiver in the league. There's 32 teams, and if Garrett Wilson's in the top 15, that makes him a number 1. But Emeka Ibuka, I don't know if he'll be there, but maybe. Could Luther Burden be a guy for the Jets on day 2? Jaden Higgins, to me, he'd be a really good compliment to Garrett Wilson because he's 6'4", 210, possession-type receiver. Is Trey Harris a name to watch? Like, to me, they have to, whoever they take, they have to hit on it. Like, that's the impact of the signing here. It's once again emphasizing the Jets having to hit on guys in the second round, which is something they have not done since Wesley Walker, right? Second round wide receiver. I mean, think about it. And I hate bringing these names up, but it's just like, it's bleak, man. Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims, Malachi Corley, first pick of the 3rd round. Jason Morrow was a 2nd round pick. Stephen Hill, Devin Smith. It's brutal. And even some of the guys they've tried in the mid-rounds. Remember Darius Stewart and Chad Hansen? And it just feels like we're putting so much faith in Muji and Glenn to be able to find guys that could play the position, either tight end or receiver on day 2, and I'm scared. I hope it works. But the Reynolds signing, to me, just further emphasizes This franchise desperately needs to hit on their draft picks. Otherwise, they're not going to be good. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's set the stage for ASMANIAC Madness. Here's where we are at in the greatest tournament in the history of sports. We are making our way through the butter region right now. We have seen 2 number 1 seeds go down. The number 1 overall seed, Charles Gorman, remains alive. He'll take on Big Fella in the Sweet 16. Weed the People has already knocked out Cheats Fan. And yesterday, we watched Jayquest survive a late comeback from Bobby Midnight and knock off the number 1 seed in the butter region. Which means the other Midnight brother is in action today. Mikey Midnight, who's a 5 seed, will take on the great Rickie NY, who is the 4 seed in the region. That matchup's coming up in moments. And then this afternoon at the 4 p.m. Eastern hour, Craig from Australia, the 6 seed. Jets Johnny, the 14th seed. We've already seen a 15 seed in Dave Briga reach the Sweet 16. Can Jets Johnny get there as a 14 seed? We'll find out this afternoon. But right now, our focus is on Rickie and Mikey. They're going at it. Let's hand things over to Jim Nance to get us started.
It's time for ASMANIAC Madness. Who will cut the nets down as the top ASMANIAC for 2025? Some of you don't even care, but we do. Let's get to it.
Here we go. Vote, vote, vote for your chance to advance the 2 beautiful mugshots that you see on the screen. Who's moving on? Mikey or Rickie? Let us know who you voted for and why. All right, some housekeeping here. Major housekeeping. Who's her daddy with a $100 super chat? Still can't find the gifted membership, so here's a $100. I'll tell you what, who's your daddy? Here's how you gift memberships. You got to be on the computer. That's the only way. But I appreciate it. You could send in this, and this will get you 20 entries in the next ASMANIAC Raffle, which if you tuned in late, we announced the 6 winners of Raffle 20. Here's the top 2 prizes for Raffle 21. Our theme this week is Super Bowl 3. Signed old school Joe Namath helmet, signed Don Maynard helmet. Our top 2 prizes with more to come based on how many memberships we get over the course of the week. Michael Gonzalez is in the ASMANIAC Raffle for 1. The Kyle Clifton, who's up in a couple days in ASMANIAC Madness, has gifted 5. Michael Gonzalez has gifted 5 membership as well. Thank you to everyone who continues to support this channel.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
That we are. All right, a couple super chats here to get into, and then we'll get to your calls. Robert says, most underwhelming offseason ever. The hope is you lose the offseason, so to speak, to win in the regular season. I just have my doubts on that. Now, I don't mind some of the signings. I understand the approach. I just think you don't only need to shop in the bargain bin. You could add a couple proven players. You can make a couple moves. It's not like the Jets have no cap space. If anyone from the Jets tries to tell you, well, they're in cap hell, they're not. They're absolutely not. And it's them choosing to split up Rodgers' cap hit over 2 years. They could have just taken it on the chin all in one, and then they could have cried poverty. Oh, we don't have cap. Look, we're dealing with Rodgers' contract fallout for a year, so we're cleaning our books. That is not what they did. They spread it out over 2 years to save money, to give them extra cap space in the now. That is what they have done. And they have also said on the record, we're trying to win now and going forward. They have not operated like that. They haven't. This roster is worse. The way they're better is that they are way better coached. They get a competent place kicker. That could lead to a couple extra wins. That could get you from 5 to maybe 7. We've seen that. This team won 7 games with Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, and Trevor Siemian starting essentially 17 games. That, to me, is not good enough. Winning 7 games in year 1 for Aaron Glenn is not an accomplishment. I don't care. You know what an accomplishment would be? A winning season, 9-8. If you miss the playoffs, it'd be frustrating, but at least you could say, we're 9-8. We have a winning season for the first time in a decade. We're going into the offseason feeling like we got the coach. He had a year to install his culture, right? He actually did it. They won games. They went 9-8. Now they build on that with a great offseason next year. Maybe Fields is the guy. Maybe they get their quarterback, whatever the case may be. The Lions were 9-8 at the end of year 2. They missed the playoffs, and then they were in the NFC Championship game a year later. That's what I want to see. David D with an Asmaniac super chat. When you become a channel member, you get all the emojis, the badge next to your name, and a free super chat every month. David's had 10 of these now. Thank you, David. I miss Sizzler. Sizzler's the choice of America. I'm a tender and generous lover. I once bought a cheesecake from Jeremy Ruckert. Hail Gary. I have no idea what half of this is. I hope Jeremy Ruckert's good. I think he's on the roster bubble right now, especially if they take Tyler Warren. Big fellow with a super chat. Looks like our big signings were Sherwood and Fields. Now time to build through the draft. Yeah. And look, I like bringing Sherwood back. I thought that was the right decision. Dan the Jet fan says Garrett just posted a picture of him in the parking lot of a Wells Fargo from his car. He about to get paid. I don't think so. I've not heard anything about Garrett and the Jets being close on a contract. I don't even know if they've really spoken about a deal, to be honest. I know I could confirm the Jets and Sauce have had like peripherally conversations. Now, what that means, I couldn't tell you, but I know they talked. I don't know if they're like hammering out a deal, but I know there's been conversations between Sauce's agent and the Jets. That I know. But I'm not saying anything's close with either of these guys. I don't know. I'm not a reporter. I'm a Jet fan. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We gave away our 6 prizes for the Asmaniac raffle earlier, so rewind to the very beginning of the show if you want to find out if you won a prize or not. Cynthia, I see that you're asking about it. We did it at the top of the show. Unfortunately, Cynthia, you didn't win. But that doesn't mean you won't ever win. And you're a winner in life anyway. Joe Namath signed helmet, Don Maynard signed helmet, our top 2 prizes for next week's raffle number 21. Raul writes in, do you think they try to trade Quincy before he asks for more money? I don't rule it out. If they think Quincy's expendable, like they're not going to pay him after this year anyway, do you consider trying to flip him for something to get an extra pick this year? Maybe. I think I would keep Quincy for a year, or maybe see if I could give him a raise for this year and extend him one more year, and if that keeps him happy. I still think he's a really good player. But I'm not sure. Zog says, I'd be happy with 7 wins with the current roster. I wouldn't be. Why are we settling for 7? To me, that's just a loser's mentality, man. Like the Giants with a first-year coach and GM with Daniel Jones as their quarterback went 9-7-1 a few years ago. Why are we settling? AJ says, Josh Reynolds, let's go. Are we that excited for Josh Reynolds? Is it that bleak in this fan base? Is it that bad? Raucous Monster writes in, voting against my bracket. Mikey is fun, but Rickie's had some great calls lately. Let's take a look at the early poll results here in ASMANIAC Madness. Rickie NY is up 60-40 over Mikey Midnight. Wow. This would be a stunner because Mikey, I think, entered as the hottest Asmaniac going into the tournament to a point where I got swept up in it. I have Mikey winning the whole thing. My champion would be knocked out by Rickie, who I know Nick Faria has predicted to win the whole thing, so he was ahead of the curve, perhaps. It's still early, though, and if Mikey calls in, obviously that could change things. But right now, what we're going to do is get to your calls, and when it's your day to compete, you go first on the Gusbuster Hotline. Rickie NY joins us. Rickie, how about your performance so far?
It's surprising. I voted for Mikey. I mean,
you voted against yourself?
Yeah, man. Mikey's my homeboy. You know, every once in a while I'll be sitting around here and the phone will ring and I look at it and it says Mikey Midnight. And so those are some of my best calls during the week because it's almost impossible to talk to him and not walk away in a better mood than you started out. He's just always so fired up and so positive, and it's kind of infectious. And so, yeah, man, I voted for Mikey. I mean, honestly, I had him and Lane in the finals as the two heavyweights duking it out at the end of this thing. So, but either one of those would be very hard to beat, in my opinion. You know, Mikey and Lane's been coming in hot lately too. So, I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. You know, I don't have any crazy thing to do since I'm competing. Just Jets takes like normal. You know, Josh Reynolds is solid. I mean, he's not the greatest thing ever, but he's solid. You know, and that's what I think we've been doing is just adding solid players. But Cisco was the ball hawking safety that we wanted. He's coming off of a down year, and we got him for a deal. But when you watch his highlights, he wasn't picking off Tim Boyle. He was picking off Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen. You know, a couple of those interceptions that he had. Yeah, I think he's a good player. Derek Nottie, run stuffing guy that we need next to Quinnen. Been in the league 6 years, got 3 Super Bowl rings. Again, coming off a down year, and we got him for a deal. But, you know, I think that some of these signings are under the radar maybe, but these are good players. And I know we haven't made that big splash and signed the big name that everybody wants. Sorry, guys, there isn't a Tyron Smith or a Hassan Reddick this year because we're actually building it the right way with just solid guys instead of swinging for some big name that turns out as at the end of his rope, which who knows? Maybe that's why we haven't signed a Lockett or Keenan Allen, you know, because they are up there in age. But you know what? We still have plenty of money. And I think after the draft, if we don't fill our needs, I think we'll see one of those signings like a Lockett or somebody like that because they're still out there, which I know we haven't signed any of those guys. But guess what? Nobody else has either. So at any rate, I'm more optimistic than most. But, you know, I think we're building this thing the right way. And I'm looking forward to the draft and looking forward to seeing this thing take shape.
Rickie, 61-39, you lead right now. Stay with us because if you take out Mikey, well, Mikey's only a 5 seed. That's just because he only started calling about 2 months before this tournament began. But if you knock out Mikey, you're about to bust a lot of people's brackets.
Man, I remember watching this show when we were talking about, you know, how could we win that game? Now we're not going to get Trevor Lawrence. So I've been here for the long haul for sure. But man, thank you to everybody. That's surprising. I'm surprised.
I thought it'd be close, but right now the way it's trending, Rickie, 61-39. This is surprising to me.
Yeah, upset alert, I guess.
I love it. You're a great caller, Rickie. I mean, I should have given you more credit. You're a tremendous caller.
Right. I appreciate it, man. Thank you to you. Thank you to everybody. You know, all you guys mean a lot to me. You know, I've made some good friends here over the years that I've been calling. So I stayed awake just so I could call in and check in with you guys. I'm going to try to make it for most of the show, but I got to work again tonight. I'm wiped right now. So,
hang in there, Rickie. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I had to check. I had to at least check in. Thanks again, and everybody have a great day.
Love it, Rickie. Appreciate you, and that's awesome for Rickie. The best thing that happened to Rickie was he figured out how to call in with great internet connection. Changed everything. But Rickie's been an OG on this show, so I thought it'd be close. That's the thing. I had Mikey because I just thought he'd ride that momentum wave. But Rickie cruising right now, unless Mikey Midnight's got to come back. As Michael K would say, does he have a rally in his bones? Emmanuel Holcomb says, sign me up for still being in the race in December versus being all out of it by Halloween. Go Jets. Great prizes, Jake. Thank you, Emmanuel. Look, I mean, can they play meaningful games in December? They did in 2022 before it fell apart. You know, Will Parkinson's like, we have a 2022 season, but without the collapse this time, like I think we'd sign for that, right? I've said this. I think this regime needs to get off to a good start. I hope when the schedule comes out now, well, you never know when you play a team year to year what it's going to be. Like we all thought the Jets schedule at the beginning of the year was easy. Turns out, you know, they lose to the Denver Broncos. Denver ended up being a really good team. We thought that was the worst loss ever. In hindsight, Denver was pretty good. Now, the Jets still should have won that day, but I'm just saying, like, you never know. We didn't think the Vikings were world beaters, and they won 14 games when the Jets lost that game. You know, you look at the schedule when it came out, and we're like 4-1 start. I know I was saying it. You know, they lost week 1. I was like, be calm. The Jets are going to go out there. They're going to win a bunch of games in a row now. Then they won 2 in a row, and I'm like, this is the team I thought we were getting. Rodgers shook off the rust, played great against New England. Here we go. And then everything changed when he got banged up against Denver in that monsoon game. They were so flat, so poorly coached that day. Tyron Smith was a turnstile. Zerline missed the kick that gave the Jets a chance to steal that one and at least steady the ship. And the rest is history. So you never know. But my point is, I think the Jets need to get off to a good start. Now, if you remember, in 2022, they were 1-2. And then they went on a run. They got the 6-3. Can they do that? I don't know. I just hope they get a soft game or two at the beginning of the year. Dre in the house. A vote for Rickie's. A vote for hope for the Jets. Go Rickie. Rickie getting support from a fellow OG on this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, Mimosa, who just won an epic raffle prize, is dropping a $100 super chat. 20 raffle entries for Mimosa.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
Ah, the hell with it.
Mimosa, you are awesome. She writes in, not impressed with this clearance rack off-season shopping we're doing. Hopefully the draft is more like Amazon Prime Day. They have to nail their draft. That's a lot of pressure on Muji and Glenn. If they execute their draft strategy and it works, that would be sick. But look at the wide receiver depth chart right now. Lazard's not going to be here. And even if he is, he's not good. Josh Reynolds is an Allen Lazard replacement for when they either trade him to likely Pittsburgh for a 7th-round pick when Rodgers goes there, or when they just outright cut him after June 1. And they save cap space. He's not on the team. They got to nail the draft. That's it. Nail the draft or we're screwed. Thank you, Mimosa, though. Truly appreciate it. We'll get you down on the raffle for 20. For those of you just tuning in, our top 2 prizes in our Super Bowl 3 themed raffle this week is a signed Joe Namath old school helmet and a signed Don Maynard helmet. Both of these will come with a certificate of certification or certification authentication. Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats. Continue to cut the line around here. We're taking more raffle entries. Let's say hello to Southern Jet, who joins us on the line now. What's up, Rich?
Good morning. How you doing?
Good, Rich. How are you?
All righty. Yeah, I just voted for Rickie. I think you're seeing the Jet people who talk more about the Jets and showing interest in the Jets as opposed to like shtick stuff, and true Jet fans too. It seems like the guys who are great callers, but maybe aren't. They're going by the wayside. I think you're going to see like a lot of OGs in the final 4, final 8. It just seems the way it's going. I kind of felt Rickie would blow away today easily, and he is.
Really?
Yeah. Well, you made the statement a while back that you thought the vote wouldn't reflect currency because when it's voting day, you said the a lot more people come in, visit the site, vote. So you're getting a lot of people who maybe haven't watched in a while, and you're going to get more votes for the OGs in that context as opposed to the newer guys. So I think that's part of it. What I really want to talk about in 1 second, but just on the Lazard thing. And once Rodgers was let go, anybody with a brain cell knew that Lazard was gone. I mean, it was just like you said, a matter of how, I mean, there's no way. I mean,
they
negligent
moved on
of
from
the Jets.
every other exactly. They moved on from every other aspect of the Aaron Rodgers era, so to speak. So they're going to keep Allen Lazard.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. It'd be like, why would you keep that, speck of bacteria that they, I'm not saying Rodgers is bad, but they wanted to get rid of him. They wanted to get rid of the OG bigger than the head coach mentality that does permeate a locker room when you have a guy like that. And so you're not going to keep, his puppy dog in the locker room bitching and moaning every time Fields throws a bad pass, whatever. But I don't think they plan on winning this year. I think that's why we're seeing these contracts. I think this is a year of building, trying to win, obviously, but I don't think they have visions of going to the Super Bowl. So I think they want to see how the team gels, and that'll formulate next year's moves, free agencies, things like that. If we have the surprise of surprises, we always have the opportunity of trade deadline deals. But one of the things I want to talk about as far as the receiver, how the depth chart looks kind of mediocre.
Mediocre. It's
Yeah,
brutal.
yeah, I know. But that's getting to my point, is that Rodgers had his way of doing things. And, even a guy, Garrett Wilson, all the scouts, when he was coming out, everybody said how intelligent he was, what a great, beyond the talent. They said he was really on the field, knew what he was doing, knew how to maneuver guys, things like that. And, even he was pissed off. What I'm trying to say is I think we might see some of the receivers that didn't flourish in the last year or two. I'm not saying they're going to be all pros, but there might be more there with this coaching staff as opposed to Rodgers dictating things and his way of doing things, his way of zoning in on one or two guys. I just think let's give that a shot first. Let's just see what happens there. Maybe Corley is more than we thought if he's given a chance with a different coaching staff, putting him in different positions, and confidence is such a big part of it for young players, and I just think that Rodgers might have had a little bit to do with some of the younger, notice it was the younger guys, not flourishing. I mean, Gibson, we'll see. I'm just saying, let's wait. I'm not saying they're all pros, but I'd like to see what the new coaching staff. Detroit had a way of dishing things around to everybody and mixing it up. And let's see what happens in that context.
I mean, I think Gibson is just not good. I mean, I hope Corley could be a player, but I mean, the Jet history of drafting guys, this previous regime was abysmal in that
Yep.
spot outside of Garrett in round one, right? So I don't know. I'm not expecting much from Malachi Corley. You can't rule it out because the coaching was so bad last year, but we'll see what he is.
The Corley's view, Corley to me is like a gadget guy that we could use. That's what I see him as. But getting back to the draft as far as nailing it, yeah, I think Warren, the tight end from Penn State, it's a gimme. I don't think they're going to do anything other than that.
Really, I think they're going to take a tackle.
No, I don't think so. I think there's some, Ursley can be there in the second round. The Warren fills so many needs as far as this depth on the receiving thing because he can be a tight end, he can be a slot. He played slot. He can do so many things. If one of the other tight ends emerges and they can be used in the 12, but Warren is a safety valve for Fields, which he needs, because he's not exactly the best progression reader in the NFL. He's got good legs and he can get out of trouble, but he's not known for getting to his third or fourth progression. So what does that mean? It means if you're a coach, you get a safety valve, and so to me, he fills all those spots. I wouldn't be upset with a tackle, with that number one tackle, but I think Warren, in the long run, fills the needs, and the NFL has a history of getting getting some good linemen later in the draft, and we had a horrible line coach. Let's face it, in the last couple of years. Did he ever get rehired?
I don't think Keith Carter's been hired anywhere. No.
Yeah, I mean, where did we get? I'm sorry to ask you this. I should know it. Where did we get the offensive line coach we have now?
For the
Did he
Lions.
come from
But he was the
Lions?
tight ends coach. Yeah. So now he's the O-line coach. Actually, Keith Carter got hired by the Vikings. Let's see. He's an assistant O-line coach now.
And the guy we got was from where?
The Lions.
Oh, okay. So that's good. That's good. So they're keeping this scheme is we got to go back and look at Detroit tape, and that's the other thing. We could trade somebody on our defense for an offensive skill receiver because the Saleh defense was so unique in its needs, where they funneled in people every 2 or 3 plays. He liked a lot of guys were safeties, linebackers playing in that. He liked the twitchy guys who could, with the speed. That doesn't work in every scheme. And so we might see somebody who flourished in our scheme might not fit the scheme, and you might see a big draft day trade, or to get a fairly big name receiver for a guy that we thought that was good in our scheme, but might not fit in the new Aaron Glenn scheme.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rich. They have put themselves in a spot where they need to have a home run draft for the team to be any good this year, because the roster is not as good as it was last year. I don't care what anyone tries to sell me on. It's not. You're worse at tackle. You're worse at corner. We could debate quarterback. I think Aaron Rodgers for a year is better than Justin Fields. You're worse at receiver. You're worse at tight end. So they have to have a home run draft if they're going to go out there and be able to win. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Super chat from Indy Jets, who says, awesome crow helmet. Thanks, Jake, for all the great content every day, and I hope Vegas picks up ASMANIAC Madness next year. Thank you, Indy. I'm glad you won. I'll get that sent out to you. Shoot me an email with your address, and we'll make sure we get the Cromartie helmet sent to you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the near future, hopefully, as well. Mark with a super chat here. ASMANIAC super chat. Thank you. Mark just voted for my guy, Rickie NY. Let's go Yankees. What happened at the end of the Mets game yesterday? Ha. Yeah, I mean, you take off those Yankee pinstripes and all of a sudden you're not clutch against the Astros, I guess. I don't know. I was at opening day last year in Houston, and Juan Soto had quite the day. All right. Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. More of your calls coming up. Another reminder about our draft party. Get your ticket before we sell out. 7 p.m. the start time. You get a drink included with your ticket, general admission ticket. A raffle entry is included with your ticket. We're doing the show live from Clinton Hall. You'll have a bunch of great ASMANIACs in the house hanging out. If you have a group that you want to do it with, reserve a table before we sell out on those as well. All the info is linked in the description. You click the link, enter your name, your email, hit the RSVP button, and boom, it takes you to the ticketing options. Super easy. You can do it in less than 5 minutes. I've done it myself. All right. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello right now to a man who is competing against Rickie NY in ASMANIAC Madness. He's someone that I picked personally to win the whole thing. Right now, he needs a comeback. He needs to have a little rally in his bones. It is Mikey time.
Hello, I'm Mikey. I'm Bobby's little bro. Have you seen Jake Graves? She's so beautiful. I love my boy Jake, but not in a gay way. I am so happy. I'm not going to touch anything, I promise.
Hey Jake, what's happening, guys? I missed everybody. I want to take Bobby's apartment to be on, so I just want to thank everybody who's choosing me to win. I'm here to win it, and I will move it. I like to move it. Move it. La, 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 la. I'm a Yankee fan too. Yankees won and the Mets lost. Yeah.
Mikey, I'm glad you went to Bobby's apartment here to get you two together. And this is quite the campaign.
I was sorry I was late because someone hit me. Someone hit my car in the parking lot.
When did this happen?
Today, Price Cup. I was in the store. Someone hit my car.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I was inside that. I was inside. I was inside the market basket, not market, price trapper. Price trapper. I was inside, and the lady said, "Oh, I hit your car." Oh, what a damage she did on it. You know, the only it could what you call it. What you call it? Gonna fix. She's gonna fix it. The insurance gonna fix it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're okay, Mikey. That's the most important.
I was shaking when I got out. Oh, this car was fixed before. I got it fixed before. But you know what?
Look at this camera shot right now. We got Bobby, Mikey, and the Midnight Cat.
Rickie, New York.
Hold on. What did you say, Jake?
And Nala in the background, your cat.
Oh, Nala.
I love New York. I like Rickie from New York. He's a good guy. If he wins, I will give him a hug. I love you guys. I am Mikey. I want to come back and win that football, Jake. Yeah, Jake Osman is my buddy. And he knows he's the best because we go rock the NFL draft with the number 1 pick. Warren is coming to the Jets.
You want Warren, Mikey? That's your guy?
Yeah, he's a big time. He could block. And in the second round, I want the Oregon Duck offensive line.
Yeah, Josh Connerly. Yeah, I'll take him. That'd be a good draft.
Hey, do you think the Jets have a shot again? They want Hyatt from the Giants. You think you guys could sign him?
Is he available in a trade? I mean, he might be. I don't know what you give up.
Committee says.
Jake, you know who we got for the Jets? The wide receiver for Detroit Lions.
He talked about that.
I like that Lions guy. That guy's cool.
You like him?
Yeah, he's my buddy. He's going to be my buddy like Aaron Glenn is my buddy.
He got hurt.
Yeah, is Aaron Glenn coming to the draft party?
No. I'll call him and see if he can make it.
Yeah, tell him to come. He does it. The other guys will help him out. Tell him I want to come and see him.
What if he says that he's working that night?
Well, you could call me on my phone.
Okay, so you want me to? What if I just reach out and say, "Hey, Aaron, you know, if you're not busy the night of the draft, you know, could you give Mikey a call?"
Yeah, I know. He's awesome. I like that guy. We go win 12-5 this year.
12-5.
Yeah.
If the Jets go 12-5, Mikey, I will be the happiest person on planet Earth, and you will co-host the entire show for me the week leading up to the playoff game. All right?
Yeah, and now we would do it together. We do it together.
Well,
yeah.
Webcam.
I found out I could get a webcam through Walmart for $20.
Yeah, I mean that's all it takes. So that's what Gator did for Beast Breaker. Now his internet's fixed.
Yeah, how's Beast Breaker doing? Oh
yeah. Do your Beast impression. That was good.
I love Beast. But do it again. Show me the moves. You could teach me how to do karate. Someone messing around with me.
Well, Purple Belt Mike.
You know Purple Mike. You know Purple Mike. He's
I know Purple Mike. Yeah.
He's a good guy. He's awesome. He likes to rock like Mikey Woodruff in the New York City in the heartbeat with all the girls wanting wild pretty. I like the girls, but you know my favorite girl is Jen Graves. Yeah, go Jen, go.
Well, guess who we met yesterday, Jake?
I met
we met Mimosa. That's
Mimosa.
Oh,
I thought that was Jen. I thought that was Jen at first.
No, that's Mimosa.
Yeah, Mimosa.
I sat next to Genergy at the Knick game last Saturday, Mikey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Genergy.
They called in my show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the Knicks go win the championship. Playoffs
love
starts. Yeah, because they go. This is why they're doing this by purpose, losing, and they want to beat the Celtics so bad. They're waiting for the best to last. Yeah, bring the Celtics on in the NBA championship. You know, going to the championship. Yeah, I want to
sign me up for that.
Yeah, me too. And I thinking that the Jets gonna make a big trade today.
Today?
He's got to go get somebody real good. What was it? No, not Cincinnati, but the Raiders, the tight end.
Myers. No.
Mayer. Yeah, you know, he's on the trade block. You know, Mikey's been pretty spot on with all his Jet
Myers.
predictions.
I like Myers. He's a big dude.
Yeah,
he nailed the Justin Fields signing before it was a thing.
From Notre Dame, like, well, we got.
And you know why? Yeah, you know why I like that guy? Myers, because he will buy his Myers and Byers of the New York Jets. Yeah,
Myers and Byers.
I love it.
Me too. You're right.
You got
Addy. You know Addy, my manager. Addy, thank you, Addy. Thank you, Addy.
We love Addison. I have something cool that Addison worked on that I'm going to show in just a bit. But Mikey, this was me at the Nick game with Jenergy and then JR, who came to our meetup.
Oh, Jen Grace too. Holy cow!
No.
Yeah, I like all. Yeah, the girls are. Well, how much was the Knicks ticket?
That was $200.
They were free. James Dolan's like, we want the Asmaniacs there to cheer on the Knicks.
I like James Dolan.
You like him?
Yeah, he buy the Jets. If he could buy the Jets, we could move the Jets in Manhattan.
Hey, no one's complaining about Dolan right now. All of a sudden, he hires good people, stays out of the way. Knicks have turned it around. Now we can only hope the Jets could do that.
Yeah, I think they would have Johnson. He has his gold chain. Remember it starts going up?
I do.
I'm the chain master. I'm the Sauce Gardner fan. That's I was on that TV show, The Hard Knocks Life. And I was rapping with the other rappers. I'm a white guy, and I like to dance with the homeboys in the ghetto. And everybody else get down on it. Get down on it. I want to rock the house. Hopefully I win today. If not, thank you, everybody who put me on this show.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Mikey Midnight and Bobby Midnight.
Hello, I'm Mikey. I'm Bobby's little bro. Have you seen Jake Graves? She's so beautiful. I love my boy Jake, but not in a gay way. I am so happy. I'm not going to touch anything, I promise.
Shout out to Mikey. Good job getting the Bobbies so we know the internet would work. Vote, vote, vote. Rickie NY or Mikey Midnight. We've heard from both of them on the show. If you're just tuning in, hit the like button. We announced the winners of the Asmaniac Raffle right at the top of the show. So if you want to find out if you won any of our 6 2010 Jets-themed prizes, rewind. First 5 minutes of the show, we went through the raffle. Now we're on to Raffle 21. Super Bowl III is the theme. Joe Willie Namath Old School signed helmet. Prize 2, Don Maynard signed helmet. More prizes to be announced, baby. Super Bowl III is our theme. Ladies and gentlemen, Metro Funny is in the Asmaniac Raffle for 10 with this $50 super chat. Metro, thank you very much for supporting the show. You are the man. Boom. You know, we were just talking about the Knicks. How about a Mike Breen? Bang! Bang! Metro Funny, thank you very much. All right, we'll get to more of your calls coming up here. Right now, though, I want to acknowledge a 10 spot from Mark Hyman. He's in the Asmaniac Raffle for 10. Let's go.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, baby. Castro loves it. He won a raffle prize. He won the best prize, the signed Revis helmet at the start of the show. Joe Fliz, NY Jet Superfan, Jay Perez, Internet Clips, SONY17, The Gabagool, Planet For Us, Aaron Daniels, Brandon the H, and 14 years, all receiving channel memberships there from the Mark Hyman. Thank you, Mark. All right. Whoa, Rick Kent alert, a 20 spot. Are you kidding me? I got to grab my umbrella. Rick Kent is in the Asmaniac Raffle for another 20.
It's the Asmaniac Membership Raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
It's raining channel memberships courtesy of the great Rick Kent. Rick, thank you, thank you, thank you. Here we go. 20 names from Rick. Bijan, DB Boxing Fan, JJ, John Garcia, Ice Force Quest 57, Stella, Matt, Zog Papanera, Stu, Pedasso, Ryan Woods, Dart Stevo, Joey K, Brett L25. But wait, there's more. Robin Boy Wonders, J.O., Anthony Cook, BC, Wanathan 0315, and JFK all getting memberships there from, who else? Our guy, Rick Kent. Rick, thank you very much for your support, as always, on the show. Kyle Clifton is gifted another entry in our raffle here. It went to listener Kevin Flores, who's now an official Asmaniac. Once again, you get all the emoji access. You get early release shows. I posted a video yesterday with an interview I did on Mad Dog Sports Radio with Trevor Sikkema from PFF. And that had been out since Sunday on the channel. It went live yesterday, so you get early videos, emoji access, badge next to your name. And every month it changes as you continue to support. And you get a free super chat every month. Some of the perks you get when you're a channel member. And you support me if you like this show and want me to continue to be able to do it full time. It's a great way to do it. Uno writes in, Ricky got my vote. Let's go, Jets. Hey, two great choices, man. Two great choices. But Ricky's cruising right now, folks. 60-40. I think the key for Mikey will be consistency over the next year. If he becomes a household name month over month, we're seeing the OGs have done incredibly well in this tournament. That's been the big thing we've seen. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. We have some OGs on the line, including a guy who called in yesterday with another OG of the show. That guy is none other than Mr. Bonesy.
The only thing better than all them shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Jake, my brother. What's
Bonesy,
up, baby?
It always feels weird when your calls are not taking place from the store.
I know. I normally try not to call in unless I'm at the store, but sometimes I just can't help it. You know, I just got to call and say hello to my boy Jakey.
And you got a batch up coming up, man. You got to remind the people who you be.
Oh, man, I know. Big Chef Kev, I told him he should come outside the store with a grill and cook outside the store while I'm working.
Who's better at their jobs? Bonesy selling shoes or Chef Kevin cooking?
We'll have it. Hey, look, I don't care. I don't care what they say about chef cooking. I guarantee I can make a better spaghetti sauce.
Wow.
I'm an Italian stallion. I got the homemade recipe. I'll whip up something real nice.
I love it.
Man, you know, not to say that I can't get aggravated in the chat, but Connor had me going this morning, man. I don't know if you saw. Connor had just was pushing my buttons perfectly to get me hyped up. You know, he said that Will McDonald is on, like, you know, he isn't a bust yet, but you know that's like bust status. He said
Will McDonald's a bust?
Will McDonald, yeah. He said
he just
he's
had
not
a 10.5
isn't a
sack
bust
season.
yet, but he's basically a bust. You know,
how's he a bust?
Because he can't stop the run. He's a big concern on the run defense, and you know he had 10 sacks. With 10.5 sacks, that's nothing. It's not, you know, that big a feat. And then he said that Garrett Wilson is like average, slightly above average. He said Brees was trash. I'm just like, yo, I don't know, who are you comparing us to, Connor?
Connor Long said Brees Hall is trash.
He said, dude, Connor, man, where are you, buddy? Come on here. Get on here,
I'd
Connor.
imagine he's in school. Is it spring
that's
break?
right. What am I talking about?
Unless it's spring break, which I don't.
You know what? That explains it. He's in school. Now I understand what's going on here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Connor Long is watching. He says, oh, my God, I never said he's a bust. Never said that. I said his run defense is awful. He only plays third down, and he is overrated.
You said he isn't a bust, but he's on the verge. I mean, that's exactly what you said.
Connor Long says, I am on spring break. Oh, wow.
Yes.
So some people go
Get
on spring break and they go down to, you know, the Florida. They go on wild vacations. Connor Long wants to call into a Jet show and talk Jets in March. You got to respect it.
Hell yes. I met Connor. He's still a great kid. I met him at the Jets Patriots game I met him and his pops. Great people. Gotta say that. But yeah, man. And then also I forget who else I was arguing with in chat, but they were telling me that it's still about the Aaron Rodgers stuff. I'm not like worried about being right or like trying to be defensive, like hoping we're going to lose or we got it wrong. I'm just saying, if you were to ask yourself or any one of you, week 1, doesn't matter what team he's on, the Steelers, the Vikings, even if he was on the Giants, Jets versus them week 1, Monday night, who you got if Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback, Steelers or Minnesota? You're 100% taking the other team. So I just Fields, I'm hoping it works. He's, I'm hoping he can stay healthy because that's his big thing. But he's still a journeyman cornerback on a prove-it deal versus and then you're talking about a Hall of Fame player that's going to be a top 5 quarterback ever. You got to go with who's got the merits, who's got the notches in his belt. And that's Rodgers. Stop. We stink, We're just as bad. Rodgers had a bad year, but I guarantee if he goes to Minnesota, he's going 35 or 40 touchdowns, and they're going to the playoffs.
To me though, it's not even about Rodgers. It's the other moves around the roster where they haven't gotten better. But specifically with Connor's take, like Will McDonald, okay, maybe he's not great against the run. I don't think he's a liability though. I also think like he's someone that's incredibly valuable in today's NFL. Like a guy who could get you 10 plus sacks a year gets paid in this league. Like you need that. Look at Bryce Huff. He literally got paid because that's all he does.
Right. And
he got paid by the smartest GM in the sport. And it obviously didn't work out because he wasn't a fit for their scheme with Vic Fangio. But like Howie Roseman's paying Bryce Huff, that should tell you that there's value in a guy that could give you 10 plus sacks a year.
For sure. And he said that he also said JD only had 6 okay picks, like 6 good picks. And it's like, dude, he had 6 good picks in the first round. Yeah, he had 6 good picks in the first round. If you go AVT, Olu, Sauce,
I can't
Garrett,
do a Douglas
Jermaine.
debate with you right now. He couldn't hit on guys on offense outside of the top 45. He couldn't.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Unless you consider Allen and Davis both busts.
They're not busts, but they're not. It's too early to tell what they are. Let's say they end up being fine. Okay, whatever. Like to me, look at the receivers he used top picks on, man. Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims, Malachi Corley. Corley was the first player picked in the 3rd round. They were trying to trade into the 50s to get him in round 2. We know they had Moore, they had Mims. Messed up on that. That was his biggest issue. Rucker, until proven otherwise, is unfortunately a bust. He was a 3rd round pick.
Mims to me was a terrible bust. He's out of the NFL. Elijah Moore, I think he's still going to be a wide receiver 3 in the NFL. I don't think he's a complete bust, but he's an Elijah Moore's an egghead. He's more worried about himself than winning. And Corley, I don't know yet. Like Rodgers, one thing I'll complain about Rodgers is like he needs his receivers to be his type of receivers. Like he couldn't even get it to work with Mike Williams. And it's like, I know Mike Williams didn't do anything with the Steelers either. So he's probably just a year removed from an ACL and he's just not healthy. But like you do have to be a Rodgers type receiver to excel in him. And Corley just isn't a route runner. He's not a polished route runner.
Do you hear that? I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the ASMANIAC Rumble.
What's going on, Bonesy?
What's on here? Give me
How you
that
doing,
stud
Bonesy?
muffin.
How you doing, Bonesy?
What's up, Connor? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. So here's what I have to say about McDonald. I never said all I said is he's overrated. I think that 10 sack season last year is getting overlooked. You could look at what Bryce Huff did for excuse me in 2023. 10 sacks, boom, he gets paid by the Eagles 2.5 sacks last season. Will McDonald is someone who you can play on 3rd down to try to go after and rush the passer. Can't stop the run, can't play 1st and 2nd down. That's who Will McDonald is, and that's why I think he's overrated.
But Will McDonald isn't as bad as Bryce Huff is in the run game. Like you're making like Will McDonald
He's one of the worst
to be
in
like,
the league. He was one of the worst in the league, especially at the edge position. He whiffed so many times. He had poor situational awareness too on read options.
But could we stop anyone in the run, especially up the middle? It wasn't like they were running outside on us. Like,
Well, the run defense was 12th best in the league last year. I think they got off to a rough start, but it ultimately averaged out to be an okay unit. McDonald was just a liability stopping the run off the edge, and the Jets really didn't have a guy off the edge to stop the run. That's why I want them to sign Zadarius Smith, 3-time All-Pro, was with Aaron Glenn in Detroit for past few seasons, double-digit sack guy, and he could stop the run. I'll take that production over Will McDonald any day of the week. Someone who's just a pure pass rusher who you throw in on third down. I just think Will McDonald is a third down player who can only rush the passer. That's all he brings to the table. He's a pass rush specialist.
But those type of guys get paid in the NFL.
If you're able
those
to do
are
it,
important guys.
He's done it for one season, though. That's why I'm saying he's overrated. I don't think you could have one good season of production and say he's already a top player in this league. I mean, look at what Bryce Huff did. He had that one okay season, and then he gets paid, and he's an unmitigated disaster in Philly. It was a whole debacle during his time with Philly, and now they're looking to trade him, whatever. I just think that one season is getting overrated. When it comes to Garrett Wilson, this is interesting. Garrett Wilson is not a awful receiver. I never said that. I said Garrett is average to slightly above average. Garrett is not worth 4 years, $120 million. He is not in that Amon-Ra St. Brown tier. He's an average to slightly above average receiver who, yes, he's able to get you 1,000 yards a season. Correct. But still, you look around the league, and because we're Jet fans and because this team has put us through so much pain and suffering for the past decade plus, we think that's unusual, and no one else in this league could do that. Garrett, I think, ranked 12th in yards in the league last year. Can't go up, can't get contested catches for you. I think he's worth Devonta Smith money. I think he's worth
how could you say that Garrett Wilson can't go up and get contested catches?
He hasn't done it regularly.
Do I have to replay the one-handed catch touchdown in the back of the end zone? And just to give me, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Wilson, through the first how many weeks of the season before Aaron Rodgers' best buddy showed up, and then Rodgers started force-feeding him to make sure he went over 1,000 yards and only played 12 games. If we didn't get Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson would have like 1,700 yards and 14 touchdowns.
Garrett finished the season ranked 7th in targets or something like that, and he ranked 13th in yards.
Because he was first in targets during at the beginning of the season, but his targets definitely dwindled down when Devontae came. And if he was just a prime wide receiver one that was getting fed like a wide receiver one, his stats would have been much more inflated than you saw. So like Garrett Wilson, you're really like analyzing like just last year and just like with when Devontae Adams showed up to the team. Like Garrett Wilson can make contested catches. Like look at his highlights. He's like a high ball guy.
He's a good player. He's a good player. He's not a top 5, top 10 wide receiver in this league. Like I think we can both agree on that. He's top 12
right now.
To top
I agree
15.
He's not. He's right now. I agree he's not a top 10 wide receiver, and I think that is coupled with two problems. One, he hasn't had a quarterback yet besides Aaron Rodgers last year. If you're going to sit here and tell me that he's had fair quarterback play, like, give him Joe Burrow and let's see how he's rolling and what you're saying. Give him one of these guys that could find him.
You just agreed with my take, though, that he's average to slightly above. What'd you just say? You said, okay, go back and what'd you say about Garrett Wilson and where he ranks in the league as a wide receiver?
Right now, he's not a top 10 NFL quarterback.
What do you want to pay him?
But that doesn't mean he's average. So you're saying if he's 14 on that list or 18 on the list, he's average?
I wish I had a list. Starter. What do you want to pay him?
What do you want to pay him? I want to pay him T. Higgins money.
So what was that, 4 for 125? So you want to pay one who you don't call a top 10 receiver in this league, 4 years, $125 million, similar to what Amon-Ra St. Brown got 2 years ago, who's a top 5 receiver in all of football.
Connor, if you were to give Garrett Wilson a real receiver his first 2 years in the league, we wouldn't even be having this conversation at all. Like he actually gave us 1,000 yards seasons with Trevor Siemian and Zach Wilson and Mike White and Trevler and all these shit guys that he had to play with. And then he has last year that you could tell, as much as I was, that he was bumping heads a little bit with Rodgers. Like they were bumping heads a little bit, getting on the same page. When Garrett went on Bart and Hahn, he was kind of, never giving us the feeling like he was loving his connection with Garrett. But I also chalked it up to us losing and him not wanting to, take the losses. Like he's a winner. He wants to win games. So that affected his mood as well. But I think and then you say like JJ's coming off an Achilles. Like that's not a hit. It's like, when Bosa got hurt, what'd you say about him? Oh, he's a bust because now he's coming off an injury.
I never said
Like,
JJ was a bust. I said there's no guarantee what he's going to look like. There's no guarantee what any player is going to look like coming off an Achilles injury. I mean, Jermaine Johnson in his second year in the league, he had a 9-sack season. We hope he can return to that level, that caliber of a player. Coming off a gruesome Achilles injury, though, that he suffered in week 2 of the season, we still don't know what he's going to look like. So I think what you have to do is you have to add another edge rusher. I really think you do. Whether it's in one of the earlier round, whether it's some point in the draft, whether it is Zadarius Smith, who's still on the open market, who I think would be a great fit for this Jets team.
I like Zadarius.
You have to go after one of those guys. So that's where I am right now. My whole argument is I don't like the whole argument that we should give Garrett Wilson a blank check when he has not solidified himself as a top 10 receiver in this league. Oh. I think we lost Bonesy. All right. Hey, I know a lot of people don't like my Garrett Wilson take, but he's yet to solidify himself as a top 10 receiver in all of football. And we're talking about the quarterback.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it. I had no choice, folks. He went too far. Bonesy's internet crapped out, and I took matters into my own hands. What an outrageous take about Garrett Wilson from Connor Long. He's not average to slightly above average. If Garrett Wilson was available and anyone could sign him, he would get the Higgins contract, if not more. He's the next guy up to be paid. He has gone over 1,000 yards 3 straight years. No Jet receiver has ever done that to start their career. I think he has set records for being receivers to be caught, to have the amount of catches and yards through 3 years. He's right up there with anyone. I know he has the Jet record for that. You pay Garrett Wilson. He's a leader on the team. You drafted him. You need a number 1 wide receiver. They don't grow on trees. You're not finding a Garrett Wilson. He's had some of the worst quarterback play in the NFL his first 2 years. And this year, it was better. But Bonesy is right. Once they got Devontae, he didn't have as many opportunities because Rodgers definitely went to Devontae more, especially in the red zone. Now, the one part I agree with you, Connor, is Jermaine Johnson. We don't know what he is. I still think he's going to be a very good player. Maybe he's not immediately back to what he was, but I think he's still going to be very good. I'm not worried about Jermaine. And then, look, saying Sauce is the only legit player from that class, I mean, Sauce had a down year for his standard. You want to say the draft class is a little overrated? Okay, it's still the best Jets draft class, arguably in franchise history. You still had the offensive and defensive rookie of the year come from it. Breece Hall, 2 seasons ago, was second in the NFL at his position in yards from scrimmage behind Christian McCaffrey. He didn't have a great year this past year. I think part of it was Keith Carter. Part of it was how big of a mess the Jets were. I still believe in Breece, though. I think he's still a really good player. They need to utilize him properly. My biggest complaint with Breece from the beginning has been they don't use him properly. Other than the Titans game, week 2, when Rodgers threw a ball to Breece on a go route and Breece caught it, and it was a great play by both of them. When have the Jets thrown to Breece Hall? He's arguably the second best receiver on the team right now. He definitely is right now. He was arguably that last year pre-Devontae. They don't target him. Garrett Wilson, to me, is a top 10 wide receiver in the league. At the bare minimum, he's in the top 15. You pay those guys. You know how long the Jets have gone without having a number one wide receiver, Connor? You haven't been around long enough to experience some of the pain that we've felt. You don't even remember the Brandon Marshall year. We had that for 1 year, and it was the greatest thing ever. Him and Decker. And that was it. 1 year of Brandon Marshall being great. By 2016, he wasn't the same player, and then that year was a mess. Like, the Jets haven't had great receivers in a long time. Since Corbett, Coles, Santana Moss, Cotry, then the 2010 team obviously had Braylon with Holmes. Like, you don't get rid of Garrett Wilson, you pay him. You want to call him slightly overrated? I mean, I don't agree with that, but you pay him. The market is what the market is. You pay these guys. The longer you wait, the price only goes up. The cap goes up every year. Mad Willie is in the Asmaniac Raffle. 4-5. Mad Willie, let's go. Boom. All right, if you hear your name called, you thank Mad Willie for giving you your channel membership. Southern Jet, who called earlier. Seymour Butts, great name. Spencer Herbstreet, Anthrax, 000G, and Lou E, all receiving memberships. We're almost at 100 this show. Can we get there? That is a big number. Big number. Let's get there. Chef Kevin writes in, Bonesy, my gravy is better than yours. Prove it. A great call by Bonesy there. A great Asmaniac Rumble that was. Maybe the widest age gap we've ever had in a Rumble. And have we ever sent a 14-year-old to the hole before? Probably not. Might have been the youngest person we've sent to the hole. Bino with a super chat. I like the kid. He's usually spot on, but his G-dub take is ridiculous. I like Connor as well. Michael with a super chat here. Thank you, Michael. 10 buckaroos. Connor, which top 10 wide receiver has the bottom of the barrel quarterbacks thrown to them? Flaw in your take, Sonny. I mean, if you watch Garrett Wilson and don't think he's one of the better receivers in the league, I don't know what to tell you. I love he doesn't make contested catches. The greatest catch of the NFL season was a contested catch. He could do it. He hasn't always had the best quarterback play. I also think, and I'm hoping Engstrand's better with this, I don't like the route tree they give Garrett. I think Fialco's done some film reviews on this. I don't like how they use Garrett. I just think the coaching is so bad. Before we give up on any of these guys, let's see what they look like with hopefully better coaching. Because the only way this team is not going to suck again this year is if their coaching is way better. Because the roster is not as good as it was a year ago. It's just not. Try and argue with a wall if you think this roster right now is better than last year's roster. It's not. So the only way they're way better is if they're well coached. We see Tomlin do it every year. Great coaches. Kevin O'Connell. Look what he did with Darnold. You need the coaching. And we don't know what Glenn and his staff are yet. We hope they're good. Thunderlip says, Jake, are you raffling / giving the auto I sent you? At some point, Thunderlips, I might use it for the draft party. I haven't really thought what we're going to do with that yet, but I appreciate you sending it. Thunderlip sent me a signed Jermaine Johnson trading card from Florida State, which is really cool. Maybe we'll give it to Rickie NY if he wins the whole thing. He's Mr. Florida State himself. Rickie right now, if you're tuning in, up big on Mikey midnight, 59-41. My bracket's about to be busted, folks. I had Mikey winning the whole damn thing. And I think most people in the tournament did. Of the almost 270 people that filled out brackets in our pool, Mikey had the most people picking him. He was the hottest Asmaniac you could be entering the tournament. Green Gang 365 is gifted 5 memberships.
For the freaking New York Jets. So we're built for this shit.
If you hear your name, you thank Green Gang 365. Satnix S, Donald Davis, Nathan Tilley, Brandon L, PG Chris. All receiving channel memberships. We're 6 away from 100 this show. Let's get there. More of your calls right now. This guy won his matchup yesterday. He defeated Bobby Midnight, knocking out a 1 seed in his region. Ladies and gentlemen, we say hello right now to J Quest. Hello, J Quest.
What's up, Jake? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Going for my walk. Been a long wait here, but it's worth it.
How many pounds have you lost now? You look great.
26.
Good for you, man. When did you start the weight loss journey?
It's been only like a month and a half.
You lost 26 pounds in a month and a half.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of walking, man. Walking's huge. That's why Bobby's got, it's nice out now. Take a walk. It's very nice.
How long do you walk for?
Sorry?
How long do you walk for?
It varies every day. It depends. Sometimes if I work nights, I'm able to walk more during the day.
Mm-hmm.
During the day, I really can't, walk a lot. Obviously, I'm at work. And at night, the kids are home and stuff. So it's kind of hard to say, I'm going for a walk, let me not help you with your homework. So, I'm a dad first, a walker second. Hey, shout out to Rick Kent. He gifted my 2 kids channel memberships today. I was listening.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, Stella and Ice Force. I guess my son's name is Ice Force Quest 57. It's kind of funny.
It's funny. I saw the Quest 57. I'm like, is that a J Quest burner he made yesterday to try and help him beat Bobby? But it's your son.
My son. It's funny. He stole it. That's my Xbox name, Quest 57. So now, that's his account now. He took over. He's older now, so that's why he has that in there. But let me ask you a question. So, do you want Warren or no?
I would take Warren. Yeah, you would have to tell me who else is there when the Jets are picking and if there's any trade back opportunities. But I'd be comfortable if they took Warren at 7.
Do you think that the fact that Bowers, I know they're 2 different players, but Bowers having the year he had last year, right? We ripped Gary the whole preseason. Oh, we're never going to pick Bowers top 10. You can't pick a tight end. And he had the year. Do you think that's affecting people's decision to be like, oh, let's take Warren? Because looking at Bowers the year he had last year?
Well, I can't speak to people like me ripping. My criticism of taking Bowers last year was I felt like they needed an offensive lineman more. They needed a left tackle. They were trying to protect Aaron Rodgers, who's coming off the Achilles. Tyron Smith's always injured. Morgan Moses was coming off an injury plague season, and he's a guy that, you weren't sure if you'd make it through a full year. And sure enough, the Olu pick worked out. Both guys got hurt in front of him, and he played well at left tackle before, unfortunately, his season ended. But, I wasn't criticizing Bowers as a player. I felt like it just didn't make sense for what the Jets needed more. And then this time around, I feel way better about the offensive line because you have 4 of your 5 starters already in place. And I don't love this receiver class. If there was a great receiver there at 7, I'd prefer the receiver over the tight end because history tells me that's a safer investment than taking a tight end that high. But every draft is not equal. And right now, it feels like Tyler Warren is consistently being graded out as a top 5 player in this class. And if you get him at 7, I understand why they would do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And does Connor forget Rodgers missing Wilson versus the Vikings, wide open on I think a double move would have gave us the lead. Missed him versus the Dolphins in the middle of the field, wide open, no one within 10 yards of him. Missing him versus the Seahawks, and the next play throws the pick. Garrett Wilson's he's not a top 10, but he's right there. Don't devalue him, man. We've seen so many bad receivers through our lifetime. We have to keep him.
Yeah, and also too, Jay Quest, to your point on that, let's say he's not top 10. Well, okay, he's still really, really good. There's so many good receivers in the NFL, but the Jets never had those guys. We have one of those guys. You pay him, you keep him.
Yeah, I fell in love with him with his first play. They didn't show him his first game versus the Ravens. He didn't get a catch the first quarter, I think. Then he made that catch 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Made 4 guys miss. I was like, wow.
Yep, turned into a first down. Yep.
Just short, but still, he got 10 yards out. It should have been a loss of 2 or something like that. The guy's great. So Connor's. He's not spoiled because he's seen shit, but. Christ, just a great player is a great player. And
people are accusing Connor Long of just looking at the analytics and the numbers and the nerd stats.
Well, and the guy cares, man. He wants to win so bad. You see, remember his first season versus the Browns, that onside kick. I remember seeing this. We got the onside kick, right? And on the sideline, you see Garrett Wilson jumping up and down, putting his helmet on. Then you see Elijah Moore just strolling a little puts that he was. The kid wants to. I want to see those kind of players. He's a good person. You want to value those people, man. It matters. And in terms of if Rickie wins, man, hey, Rickie. He's the OG, man. He's and he's been there for me on Discord and shit. I've talked to him. So if Rickie wins, man, when I play him next week, I'm gonna have my kids roll for Rickie. He's a great dude, man. He really is.
I love that.
He was here so much longer than me. I love Rickie NY, man. He's awesome.
Well, my bracket's completely busted because I had Mikey going far. I had the Midnight Brothers meeting in the Sweet 16. You knocked out Bobby. Rickie is on the precipice of knocking out Mikey. So both the Midnight Bros out in the round of 32, I think is stunning to most people that filled out a bracket.
Yeah, because it's a silent majority, right? Not everyone chats, Jake. People don't realize that. I watched the show 6 months. I didn't know how, kind of Mimosa said it. I didn't know how to chat because I didn't have the YouTube app. So I'd watch your show on Safari on my iPhone. And I'm like, how the hell are these people chatting? I didn't even know how to do it. You know what I mean? And I was fine with that too because I enjoyed the show. but not everyone's going to sit there and chat. People are at work. They really can't chat and they can't say anything. They can't call in,
Well, my thought wasn't based on the chat. It was just the electricity of Mikey coming in. Like everyone was picking Mikey.
It's only 2 months. Rickie's been a mainstay. And
I get it.
Welcome out. Ricky doesn't call every day. He calls once in a while. And like when he calls, you enjoy it when his Wi-Fi is good. He fixed his Wi-Fi, luckily. And now every time he calls, it's enjoyable. And that's the main thing. Like, we're all winners, right? Like, people got to stop getting butthurt. I beat Bobby Midnight. Like, I had nothing to do with it. Like, I won, great. If he would have won, great. Who cares? Like, it's just for fun. People got to, like, chill out, bro. For real.
What do you mean? This is life or death, Jay Quest. How dare you?
I gave Bobby $20. I felt so bad I beat him yesterday.
Bobby should not accept that. That is like, if Bobby accepts your $20 here, he has no shame.
He did accept it. He's like, I'm happy. And Metro gave him $50, some shit. But,
Metro, you gave him $50 for losing?
No, I think just Metro's the man. The other shit. I didn't really give him for losing. I kind of felt bad that
you accepted the $20, Bobby?
Of course he did.
Yes, he gave it to me. What the hell? What's wrong with it?
Have some shame, Bobby. Good God.
Okay, goodbye. Goodbye,
Have
Jake.
some shame.
I'm done with you.
You're done with me?
Jake, you accepted that. No, dude, that's cool, man. I gave it to him. No, don't make.
That's a pity prize.
I did not because I would have given it to him if he beat me. Maybe I would have gave it to him. It's not a big deal.
Wait, Bobby Midnight Charity? Like, you got to just give him money because you beat him? You won fair and square. You don't have to pay him $20 because you feel bad. You didn't do anything wrong.
I know. I just felt bad, dude. That's all.
He shouldn't have accepted it. You didn't do anything wrong.
Here's the funny part. It was the $20 in my Venmo account. You refunded me. That's what it was. So you paid him, really.
That's insane.
Let me. Good talking to you.
Oh my God, Jay Quest, I appreciate it. Now look, I have no shame. All right, I'll tell you. You send a super chat, I'll read it for the most part. All right, but Bobby, come on, man, taking $20 for losing in a tournament about Jet fans who call into a Jet YouTube. What are we doing, man? Donate that money to charity or something. Ladies and gentlemen, our guy Bo C, who won one of our prizes earlier, is trying to do it again. Another 10 from Bo. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to Bo C.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
The Jets killed Carl, Growing Ears, G Sun Car, EC3, Taylor Murrer, Ben Cowlis, Little Soup, Dolphin Gang Entertainment, Lindell's J, Lex, all receiving memberships there from Bo C. We are over 100 memberships added during this show. Thank you to everyone who supports our show. It makes me able to do this each and every day. Big fella, a J Quest versus Lane matchup would be fire. J Quest is coming for everyone right now, man. You look at that side of the bracket, if J Quest could get all the way. I mean, J Quest versus Gary would be amazing because J Quest has the mental stamina and wherewithal to go toe-to-toe with Gary as he spouts out his usual nonsense. And the prank calls that J Quest could potentially pull off with moon landing references if he gets Gary would be incredible. But this tournament has shown you never know what's going to happen, so we can't look that far ahead. More calls right now. Another OG is on the line. Kyle Clifton's next. What's up, Kyle?
How you doing, Jake? I kind of agree with Connor a little bit on Will McDonald. I need to see it again. I need to see another year from him. I need to see some improvement on the run. I want to see if some of those sacks will be consistent and translate year to year. And then
the McDonald take is fine. I mean, like, we'll see if you do it again. I think he's a good pass rusher at the minimum. The Garrett Wilson take, I'm just like, come on.
I mean, there's no denying the athleticism. I want to see some consistency, especially after the rookie year where he was kind of sparingly used. What is Josh Reynolds doing in a strip club? I mean, I know he's a young guy, not that young anymore. He's 30 now, but like, if he's the guy that's supposed to be like the glue of the locker room, I mean, getting shot in a strip club is not a great look. I mean, I think you and I know that not all strip clubs are like created equal. And like, if you're in kind of like a shady place where prostitution is going on or something like that, and there are guns. That's the kind of stuff that's going to happen. So I'm hoping that we're bringing in a good culture guy that Muji and Glenn are familiar with, and this was just a happenstance.
Yeah, I mean, just because he was at a strip club doesn't mean he did anything wrong, though.
No, I don't think he did anything wrong. I'm just saying, like, you get to a point in your career after you've been in the league a couple of years. I mean, these guys are well compensated. They're in the best shape of their lives. They don't need to be throwing money after women that may or may not be interested in them, right? Because they're going to have plenty of that interest, off the field. I don't know if it's a comment on who he is as a person, or just an instance of bad judgment, or just an instance of happenstance.
Well, the fact that he's gotten several jobs since tells me that.
Well, that's the other thing. Like this, are we his 6th or 7th team? Is that right?
He's been around the league a while.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pro strip club, for the record, Kyle. As B-Max said on this show, he respects women by going to the strip club. So,
well,
I have no problem.
I put that in the rearview mirror now. And then my last point, Charles Dolan came up before, and it was said that no one's ripping him right now. Allow me to be the guy.
James Dolan, you're talking about?
James Dolan, right? Yeah. Sorry, not Charles. James. He has a special place in hell with Sheldon Silver for blocking that Midtown Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, the view will be on top volume as he and Sheldon are in a tiny rusty cage, and I come by periodically to poke him with a sharp stick, because you and I both know the Jets really are not competition to the Knicks in those terms, to play 2 times a month on Sundays or something like that. That would have been a boon to New York City, and it was pure corruption that Midtown Stadium didn't go through.
Yeah, I mean, it's I wish the Jets had their own stadium. I think they should be in Queens, but obviously the West Side would have been perfect.
Yeah, I think I was one of the few that wanted the Midtown. I know that the tailgating wouldn't quite be the same, but I think that we could have made it work with some of the waterways there and some of the other ways to get there. That's pretty much all I had. Looking forward to my matchup on Monday. I'm hoping that I will be able to make an appearance. Work has been kind of insane. But I appreciate your time, Jake.
Kyle, always a good call. Appreciate you. Kyle Clifton, who will, we believe, be at the draft party. So come meet Kyle. Reminder of the show, it's available in podcast form, either Apple or Spotify. Just search The Jake Asman Show and listen to the show in audio form. Eric is next on our line. What's up, Eric?
Hey, Jake. So I don't really agree what Connor was saying about Garrett Wilson, but I'm going to defend him a little bit. When he was saying he's average or a little above average, I think he was talking about amongst number 1 receivers, not all receivers. Like, he might be a little better than the average number 1 receiver, but that's just production. As far as
number 1 receiver, aren't you a number 1 wide receiver? Like, why do we have to quantify, like, okay, he's not a top 5 guy in the league right now. Okay, that's okay. No. He's still to me worth extending and keeping here for the long haul. He's still 100%. A player you can win a lot of games with.
That's what I was going to say. As a number 1 receiver, he's the next man up. It doesn't matter what he's supposed to get paid. It's, he's going to get paid that much money as a number 1 receiver. We got to keep him. And also, just production-wise, he might be a little lower than we would like, but he hasn't had stable quarterback play. He hasn't had a stable offense. He's switching coordinators every season. Whatever you say about Aaron Rodgers, it wasn't his best season. Our offensive coordinators have been horrible. His route tree has been horrible. You got him switching between targets with Adams. You don't have any really help in the offense. They know they're going to throw. They're not getting production from their running game. He's up against a lot. Talent-wise, I think he is a top 5 receiver. Some of the catches he makes are amazing. His drive is amazing. We got to pay him and keep him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've been very outspoken on paying Garrett Wilson. I think it's the right move. And the longer they wait, it only is going to continue to go up as the cap spikes every year. And that position becomes more of a premium position, with Jamar Chase now resetting the market by making $40 million a year.
Exactly. I think he was a little too hung up on the analytics of it. And, not everything's analytics. You got to look at how they perform on the field and see what they're capable of. Like Justin Fields, again, he might not have the numbers we'd like to see him with Justin Fields, but you're building a team. You need to have the players that you know are going to produce for you, and Garrett's one of those guys.
I agree. I mean, he's proven he's quarterback proof. Like, he's had some of the worst quarterback play you'll ever see and still put up numbers, so that matters.
Yeah, and one more point. I think people might have brought it up before, but I'd really like to maybe try to trade like a third or maybe even a fourth or for like Olave or something, just to have a more stable, room, and that would give us a little flexibility if we end up taking a tackle or Graham in the first round and not getting Warren. The receiver room looks a lot different if you have Garrett and Olave as opposed to a rookie starter.
I would love Olave, Eric. I don't think he's available. Like, once again, we bring his name up. People have asked about him on the show, in the chat. Eric just called in to bring him up. I'm all for trading for Chris Olave. To my knowledge, he's not available. Why would the Saints trade him? We've not heard anyone say he's on the trade block. No one. It's just like speculation, because why? He tweeted fireball emojis when the Jets signed Justin Fields. He's very close with Fields. That was his college quarterback. He loves Garrett Wilson. He thought it was cool they get to play together. Doesn't mean the Jets are trading for Olave. I mean, tell me what it would cost to do it. I'm interested. I don't see it. You knew this guy would call in when we're having a Garrett Wilson debate on the show, apparently, today. The architect of 28 Touchdown Island, Dre, is up next. What's up, Dre?
What's up, my brother Jake? You know what? I have to come here and let my presence be felt, because there will be no besmirchment of the great Garrett Wilson, not on my watch. But, the thing was, so when Connor said what he said, I got confused, because I was like, wait a minute. Wasn't Connor with us when we were at the Texans game where we saw the one-handed catch? But I got it confused with opening night, because Connor sat behind me. He was like 2 rows behind me. And we were there for, opening night and everything like that. And, Rodgers was supposed to unlock Garrett. Like, Garrett was supposed to be a cheat code. That's why I came out and said all the crazy stuff that I said, because I took Garrett's talent and I extrapolated it. You gave him a top 5 greatest quarterback of all time in Aaron Rodgers. This should be a no-brainer. And then I realized, you know what? Analytics, I'm going to project, I'm going to extrapolate this, and this is how things are going to work. That doesn't work in real life, because God was like, no, Dre, sit down, relax. I'm going to show you what happens. And it all went like completely the worst way. And if you took bets that we weren't going to win more than 5 games with Aaron Rodgers as our quarterback, with the defense that we had, with the offensive talent that we had, like, there's no reason. Like, that's like dividing by 0. So I couldn't explain the season. And that's why I had to just kind of take a whole step back, because I was like, this is insane. This is insane. Like, insanity is happening. But now for Connor Rodgers, you hear me? Connor to say what he said about Garrett Wilson, that he's like, oh, you know what? He's a top 15 at best. Like, I'm like, we have to be honest. He is right now, because of the stats. If you only look at the stats, if you don't watch the games, if you don't apply analysis and things like that, then yes, he is. But anyone with eyes, and Connor has eyes. I know we should definitely have his dad take him, make sure that his eyes checked.
I don't know if eyes work in the hole. Let me check in the hole right now. Connor? Yep, he's got eyes.
Okay. Like, so Connor, I love you, buddy. Me too. But they will, excuse me. See, I can't even choke down the statements that you made.
It makes you sick. You're
exactly.
choking on the air from
like my weakened heart. It weakens my condition. This we're not doing this as Jets fans. I am putting a stop to this, point blank, period. There will be no besmirchment about the great Garrett Wilson, because that we just can't do that. That's it. Pay the man pay Sauce. Let's pay our talent. We drafted these guys. Let's keep these guys. Now, granted, I will say this. I started to wonder, like, are we really going to do well in drafting and things like that? But remember, we drafted Aaron Glenn. So maybe, hopefully the gods will remember that and be kind to us and give Aaron Glenn the foresight. And I'm really hard pressed that he's going to be able to join you guys at the draft event, since he's going to be in the war room. But, things can happen. I don't know what's up. Maybe I'll take a trip over to the Jets war room and I'll call into the show from there, and I'll give you like a live stream shot of Aaron Glenn at work. That's the best that's the only way I can see that happening.
Dre, great call. Unfortunately, 28 touchdown island is underwater for now, but we'll be back better than ever next year.
Yep, we'll see. We'll see how the draft goes. By week 1, I'll know for sure, and I'll make my statements, my predictions.
Did you ever get your Gus Buster, by the way? I know you were checking in with the post office.
I never did. I filed a claim with UPS, and now I'm in UPS claim hell. Like they're now acting like they have no record of me putting the claim. I'm going back and forth, and I'm fighting with them. It's ridiculous.
Hey, do me a favor. Send me a message. Pick an item from the merch store you want. I feel bad you never got your prize, and I'll send you something from the store. I'll ask my dad. Maybe we'll get you another umbrella sent out. Send me the address to send it to, though, because the one I sent.
No, the address was correct, but that's not the address that the guy, he put the photo that, look, I delivered the thing, and I'm like, that's not my door, so I don't know where you put it. I went down the block to the building next door, and it wasn't there, and that wasn't it. So I don't know where homeboy was.
I love it. Well, I'll tell you what, Dre, you let me know. All right.
All right, we'll do, Jake. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Dre checking in, and it's always weird when we see Dre not calling in from the famous office. Really is, Back in the day, Dre was known for one thing on this show: legendary office phone calls. Let's go to Dre. He's up next on the Gus Buster hotline. Dre, what do you got for us? Oh, my God.
Hey, Jake. Hey, I got to be a little quiet, man, because my boss is right over there. The Jets, I think they're definitely going to win the division.
Right. Who are you talking to?
I'm working. I'm selling.
What are you doing? Are you on the FaceTime?
No. This is I'm selling this guy. I almost got the sale. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get this sale.
You better. Or your job, we have quotas to meet.
Jake, I gotta go. I gotta go back to you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna get it.
You better.
I'll get it done.
You better. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. All right.
All right, Dre. We'll let you go. Oh my God. I swear to God, Gator does not tell me when he's doing these things. And it just popped up as Dre, and I go, he looks a little different, but I got like a very small window to see who the callers are. And I did not know that was a impersonator. I really did not. I thought it might have actually been Dre, but I was like, why does he look a little different? But the picture's so small, I couldn't tell. And I was genuinely surprised there. Oh, man. I think we got to end it there. We're not topping that. I mean, that was brilliant. If you want more Gator, he's in the Discord. He will like randomly post different videos. Like he did a mashup of me and Aaron Rodgers singing Taylor Swift together. Shake it off, which is just completely outrageous. Like, I don't even know how to describe what Gator posts in the Discord. So sign up for the Patreon so you can get access to that. Happy Friday, everybody. I mean, that was brilliant. The Office background. Who was voicing the other part of the bit there? I mean, I got a million questions after that. Incredible. Look who's called back. Our guy Dre is on the line right now. Dre, how we doing? Not at the office?
I had to call in because I saw Gator's impression of me. It was fantastic. I literally was crying at work. Then I ran around to talk to a couple people about it, and that video is fantastic. It is just cinematic triumph. You're gonna love it. Shout out to Gator, my guy.
The Gator impression. I mean, one more time, I'll put it up on screen. I mean, this was outstanding. Look at that. The attention, the detail. Who's Gator going to impersonate next? JJ writes in, we're going to see Gator with a cigar next. Shout out to Neil. Neil is definitely on the short list of someone who could be impersonated by Gator. Oh, was Neil ever impersonated by Gator? That's probably my favorite one. More of your calls right now. We haven't checked in with this guy yet. I know a lot of people are dying to get his take on the state of the Jets following a Josh Reynolds signing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's unleash the beast.
Beast Breaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass, and then he's gobble-goo.
Beast.
Ay caramba. That was a nap I needed.
How you feeling?
That was a good trip to outer space. All right, where are we? D9. All right, D9. Come in, D9. All right, D9. Let's stand by. All right, this Josh Reynolds guy. Never heard of him. Where did he come from again? Which state? Which college did he come from, please?
All the colleges.
No. I need something specific. Specific college, specific. I need the name for him.
Texas A&M.
Okay, thank you. Now I'd like to say thank you for that, and I'm gonna try and I want to get back to some sleep because I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm not feeling so hot.
Hey, Beast, I got some good news for you. All right.
No, I gotta go take care of myself.
Well, you know what? I feel like the timing for this then is actually perfect. Beast removing himself on his own. We don't even need to send him to the hall, but Metro Funny sent him there anyway. Metro Funny, you got your wish. And you're getting 10 raffle entries. So thank you for supporting the show. And since you paid for it, I'll play. Now look what you've done. Beast Breaker 666. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to cut your call off and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. Do you understand me? You catch my drift?
Are you seriously on crack? I think
give them another 24 hours to think about it.
How about you bending over and taking up the booty hole behind the 7-Eleven?
Beast, we will see you later. Feel better, man. Zoink Nation says, Jake, who's winning? Mikey Midnight or Rickie NY? Folks, it is all Rickie NY right now. Rickie is up 59-41. Almost 600 votes have been cast. A dominant showing by Rickie. Mikey's an incredible caller, but Rickie's an OG, and we've seen the OGs do incredibly well in this tournament. Beast is now, I guess, in the hole, so let's take Connor Long out of the hole. He's too young to be in there. Connor, how are you?
Jake, I'm doing well. The Garrett Wilson debate there got a little out of hand.
How's spring break going for you?
It's going well. Can't complain. I got the rest of this week, and then I got next week, and then I go back. So
you have 2 weeks of spring break?
Yeah, 2 weeks of spring break now. So
since when? That's crazy.
I've had it, I think, since 4th grade now.
Is that new?
Well, my district doesn't do the February break anymore, like President's Day. Most schools get like a week off for that. My district doesn't do that anymore, so we get 2 weeks in the spring instead. But I did want to bring up a Breece Hall point because I feel like we didn't get to that. Breece is someone who, let's be real, Jake. Breece Hall is one of my favorite Jets. I know you love Breece. I know you met him at a pizzeria in the city. But this is someone who has struggled with – I know the coaching staff's going to get a lot of blame, and I'm not saying the coaching staff had nothing to do with his struggles last season. However, this is someone – his vision has been a massive issue since he was coming out of Iowa State, and it's continued to be a massive issue throughout his career. I think people forget the first 4 weeks of the season, Breece had wide open holes to run through, but his vision was terrible, and he wasn't able to find those holes and capitalize on them. Plus, he had a couple home run plays last season, yes, but overall, he struggled to break tackles, and he just wasn't a great running back for this team last season, Jake. I mean, can we come to that in conclusion?
I don't think he had a great year, Connor, but I don't know if his vision's terrible. That seems a bit extreme. His first carry coming off an ACL injury was a 25-yard run against the Bills, and then later in that same game, coming off the ACL, he had like an 80-yard run. against that team.
I saw plays from the Bills game, week 6. I saw a ton of plays from the Vikings game, week 5. I pulled some clips from the Seahawks game and the Dolphins game later in the season, just because I was curious to see what it looked like on NFL Pro. And his vision, going back to college, was not great at all. And I mean, Jake, let's be real. This is a guy who is not very consistent. He has a couple home run plays here and there, but overall, he struggled with consistency his entire career.
I mean, did he really struggle as a rookie when he was on his way to winning Offensive Rookie of the Year before he tore his ACL?
4 weeks, though. 5 weeks.
I mean, it was longer than that. What were they? They were 5 and 2.
weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when he
6
got
weeks,
hurt.
7 weeks, yeah.
And then also, did he really was he struggling with his vision when, in 2023, a year off the ACL, he was second in the NFL from yards from scrimmage? Like, I don't know. I think Breece Hall is a really good player. I don't think he's achieved what his talent is just yet. I also think the coaching's been a problem there, and I think he's going to have a big year this year if they utilize him the right way.
Do you think his speed has been hindered a little bit from that leg injury?
I don't think he was fully healthy this year. I know he would never use that as an excuse, but I think clearly he was bothered by something early on. We saw him have to come out in some games early on. I remember week 2 against the Titans. It looked like he injured himself, and they went to Braylon Allen a lot more that day as a runner. They used him as a receiver a little bit.
Now, one more quick thing here on Garrett Wilson, because I know it's going to get out of hand. I know it sounds crazy, but you agreed with me, right, that he is not a top 10 wide receiver one in the NFL. That was my whole argument. I think he's closer to getting the Devonta Smith contract, for example, someone who got 3 years, $75 million a few years ago, or a Nico Collins type extension. I don't know if I'm ready to go in with a lot. That was my whole argument. I just don't think he's a top 10 receiver right now in the league, and I'm not for going in right away and just whatever, hand him a blank check, hand him a Amon-Ra St. Brown, T. Higgins type money. I would much rather go, you make a 3-year commitment instead of 4. It's $75, $85 million instead of 115, 125. That's what I'm looking for right now, because I do think he is closer to Devonta Smith money from overall production than Amon-Ra St. Brown money.
I mean, whatever it is, I'd pay him, Connor. Like, to me, Garrett Wilson's not the guy that I'm trying to, negotiate just to get the best number possible with. Like, I think sometimes you do a deal because it sends the right message. He's a guy you drafted. He's been a good guy based on everything we've heard. He cares. He's a good leader. I've met him personally several times. I hung out with him for 3 hours in a suite in the Knicks game last year. That, to me, is a guy you pay. I don't think you want to get into a pissing match with a guy who has done everything right and wants to actually be here. And the Jets don't have enough guys in their history that wanted to be here, especially the last 15 years with all the losing. I think you pay him. I think if you gave him the T. Higgins deal, 4 years, $115 million, that's fine.
All right. I mean, look, we're all Jet fans. We're all hoping this team could do well. I hope this 2022 class turns out to be great. The only players I'm really, really sold on from the classes recently is Olu and Tippmann, the 2 offensive linemen. I think those guys have the potential to be, they've already shown flashes of it, but be premier players at their position group for a really, really long time. But I'm hoping Will McDonald's able to improve his run defense and he's able to continue, a double-digit sack season. I'm hoping Jermaine Johnson comes back from an Achilles injury and he shows no signs of the Achilles injury hindering him overall as a player.
How many wins are the Jets going to have, Connor, in 2025?
My prediction right now is 7-10.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you love it, baby.
It's not much higher with Aaron Rodgers, though.
Now you love it. Yeah, Connor, you love it, baby.
No.
7-10, it's all you know. You're just like, yup, 7-10.
It's the best I've seen him go. It's
the
best I've seen him go.
Have you ever seen a season more than 7 wins? No, right? Because your first year was the McCown year.
Well, my first ever vivid memory of watching a Jet game was when Darnold threw the pick 6 against the Lions first play.
2018.
But yeah,
amazing.
But other than I wasn't watching, I was alive for 2015, obviously, but I wasn't watching then. Since actually being a diehard fan of this team, I've only seen them go 7-10. It's so sad, Jake. 'Cause my favorite game watching this team is the Browns game in week 2 of 2022 with Flacco hitting Corey Davis.
Yeah,
oh, really? Nice.
Maybe ever. Yeah.
And then the onside kick to drive down and score again with Garrett to win the game. I mean, hoping this team could do something, but
was Garrett overrated in that game?
No, he actually put up solid numbers.
Oh,
I think he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had 2. He scored the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah.
He had 2 touchdowns,
and he had a touchdown in the first quarter too.
I ordered his jersey the second that game ended. That's how dominant he was that day.
Nice. Again, I'm hoping he could do well. I'm just not completely sold on him as a top 5, top 10 premier guy. in the league yet. But I'm hoping he could do well. I'm hoping this team is.
He's the best wide receiver you have ever watched play for the Jets.
That's the thing, though. The goal is not to beat the Jets bar. That's the problem.
But the Jets have had some pretty good receivers in their history, and this guy has gone over 1,000 yards 3 straight years. No one's ever done that in Jet history.
One more thing I do want to touch on, Jake, that you and everyone's saying about how he's put up numbers with all these poor quarterback play and the quarterback play, blah, 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 blah. When is he going to have a legit quarterback in the foreseeable future? I mean, he gets his college quarterback in Justin Fields, but we know Justin Fields doesn't have the greatest arm in the world. He struggles with accuracy at times, struggles pushing the ball downfield. When is he going to have this legit quarterback? Because you look at, you bring in Justin. He couldn't really make it work with Aaron Rodgers after Devontae Adams came into town. Who's the quarterback he's going to be able to make it work with? That's the question.
I mean, he can make it work with any quarterback, so that's more of an argument why you pay him. I don't know. I hope it's Fields. I think it's unlikely it is. I think the Jets' hopes are going to be in the 2026 draft when they hopefully can get a guy in the first round if it doesn't work out with Fields.
Jake, I appreciate it then. I did not expect my Garrett. I shouldn't have said I didn't expect it because I know the Jet fans love to defend everyone in the 2022 class. But hey, so I'm sorry for those who I pissed off about the Garrett Wilson take. We're all Jet fans here. We all hope Garrett Wilson.
Let me give you some advice. Do not apologize for Jack Bleep. That is your opinion. You have every right to it. Defend it. It is yours. And if anyone has a problem with it, tell them to go screw.
I appreciate that, Jake. Have a good day.
Connor, excellent job. Don't take my job one day. All right. Comments, questions, super chats here. Big fella, 5 raffle entries. He has sent in a $20 super chat for the people. Jake, just a heads up, the final filming for the end of the Big Fella campaign series will take place this weekend. We'll send it to you on Sunday. The latest issue of the ASMANIAC Monitor will drop on the Discord tomorrow. Charles, it's on. You got to respect Big Fella's campaign efforts. Pulling out all the stops to try and take out Gorman. We've had 2 1 seeds go down already. Could there be a third 1 seed go down in this tournament? Gorman's going to be tough. But Big Fella's doing his best. If you guys saw the latest ASMANIAC Monitor yesterday, I mean, wow. Something smelly's happening in Jersey, and it's not the Jets for once. Unbelievable. Before we continue with your calls here, we're going to wrap up shortly here, so these calls got to be quick because I have a ton of things to do today before our next show. DFS says, Alan, you're a puss. You watch every show on YouTube, but say you can't call into a YouTube show because of your job. LMAO cornball. Ladies and gentlemen, today's comment of the day is DFS Savant. DFS, shoot me an email with your address and t-shirt size. You just won a Jake Asman Show t-shirt from my merch store. Congratulations, man. You nailed it. Nailed it. All right, more calls. Here we go. Jetaholic is next. What's up, Jetaholic?
Hey, Jake. How are you?
What's up, man?
Is comment of the day the new thing?
It is when you take a shot at Allen.
All right. I mean, hey, anyone that wants to take a shot at Allen, I respect that. Connor definitely has a bright future. I could see him being on like Jets post game in like 10 years. However, I do highly disagree with his Garrett Wilson take.
Yeah, I mean, it's just to me, like when if we're really getting in the weeds on where Garrett ranks, if we all agree he's a number 1 wide receiver, you pay him. It's like the quarterback situation with contracts. Like next guy up gets paid. That's just how it goes. Like you deal with it. Like Eli Manning at one point was the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Eli Manning was never the best quarterback in the NFL. It's just the next guy up gets paid. It's how it's always been.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, really, he's the best wide receiver we've had, probably since Marshall. So, I mean, and honestly, I think he has the potential to be a top 5 elite wide receiver with the right coaching and the right quarterback situation. He's been through a lot. I mean, us as Jets fans, we know how it goes. So, but, and to go on to the draft, I definitely agree with taking Tyler Warren, or honestly, I would understand the Membu pick or maybe trading back and taking Tet. But like Josh Reynolds doesn't move the meter that much. I mean, it's a nice depth signing, but they still need more.
They need a lot more. They need weapons galore, Jetaholic. And if they don't take Warren or a receiver in the first round, second and third rounds are going to be huge for them to try and hit that.
Yep, I agree. And one more thing, the ASMANIAC Madness, I'm disappointed too. I had Mikey going all the way. I'm really surprised.
That's it.
I'm really surprised. I really thought he was going to win the whole damn thing. But hey, congrats, to whoever wins it. Honestly, I kind of seen the whole, you have to, I mean, I know Mikey's a Jets fan, but I kind of seen the whole, how the chat would be voting mainly for Jets fans. I don't know. To me, I know it's ASMANIAC Madness, but I feel like a lot of the Jets fans are like, we don't want a non-Jets fan to win, if that makes sense. I know they're great for the show, but I see it that way too. That's all I'm saying.
Jetaholic, I get it. Good call, man. Totally fair. Totally fair. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. I mean, we have almost, what? How many votes? 601 votes, but only 261 likes. Crazy. If you want to get the membership, do so before the show ends, and you're entered in the next ASMANIAC raffle. We did our 20th one at the start of today's show, and now we're doing a Super Bowl III themed raffle. Old school Joe Namath helmet we're giving away, baby. And a Hall of Fame signature by Don Maynard on a Jet helmet as well. Let's go. All right, Nate, parentheses Nate, is on the line. Hello, Nate.
Excuse me, you got YouTube? You vote Nate on the Jake Asman show? Yeah, Jake Asman, vote Nate. Appreciate you. What's up, Jake? How we doing today?
Hey, Nate, how's the campaign going? You already getting votes for the next round?
Yeah, we're campaigning on 2020, what would it be, 2026.
Yeah,
March,
you're already a year early on this. I
March
guess.
Madness. Listen, first of all, shout out to Jake Quest. That's partially why Jake Quest won, because when he can vividly put you in those moments. Like, we're all avid Jet fans. When he brings up like Garrett Wilson jumping on the sideline, I immediately remember where I was watching that game when we got that kick and seeing Garrett like looking for his helmet and going crazy. He was definitely the most excited. I love when Jake Quest does get to call in. But now, all right, Connor. I love Connor, and Connor's like, he will, mark my words, Jake, he might take over your job, but on the way, he's going to work for PFF. Like, either internship, but one day he will be PFF_Connor. He is all over that website. But I think, now Connor is smarter than a lot of you guys think. He's young. I don't even know if he's in high school yet. But he grew up on this new media, and he just manipulated all of us. He just turned this into the Connor Long Show, with takes he probably doesn't even agree with. It's like Stephen A, bro. It's brilliant. So shout out to Connor. He took over for 2 segments, and he went after, Jake, he went after Bonesy about JD picks. Is there easier bait than going after Bonesy about JD? He knew exactly. He had got 2 weeks off. He knew exactly what he was getting into. And shout out to Connor. He's probably up 8 subscribers since the show started. Am I wrong? If not more.
Look, I disagree with a lot of his takes, but I respect his right to give him. I don't think he's just saying it to say it, though. I do think he actually believes what he's saying.
No, I think he believes it, but I think what's getting lost in translation is the word average. Obviously, the Garrett Wilson, stay in your lane, folks. The Garrett Wilson argument is what triggered a lot of Jets fans, because Connor called, in the same sentence he said he's average or slightly above average, but also had like Devontae Smith in the conversation of average, who, I don't know, I don't think average wide receivers are, ever get 3rd in targets or 5th in receptions like Garrett got this year, or whatever he was, 11th in yards. There's your PFF for you, Connor. So he's obviously above average according to my definition. I don't know, to me, Tim Patrick, I guess, is he's the flavor of the offseason. He's like the average wide receiver to me, or maybe I don't know, somewhere below Jerry Jeudy, but he's obviously better than average. And I know Connor is a Nets fan, but you're a Knicks fan, Jake, right? I compare it to Jalen Brunson, right? Knicks have had a similar struggling history to the Jets, right? When the Knicks got Jalen Brunson and had the year that he had, and then they gave him this extension, a lucrative one. Granted, he took less money to be with his boys. But you don't just look at, as a Knicks fan, and go, oh, he's not Giannis. He's not top 5. You look at the analytics, and he's only 6'3", and his contested shot, percentage is not what Steph Curry's is. And well, guess what? Those guys are generate. And when Jalen Brunson falls into your lap, or Tatum falls into your lap, or Luka, whoever it is, and again, he's probably not a top 10 player. That's who you build around. Like you said it earlier. It's time for Garrett, so you've got to pay him, and we all agree. Again, I think it's the word average. He's above average. Connor, if you're saying he's not top 10, that just doesn't mean anyone who's not a top 10 wide receiver is average. Every every receiving corps has 2 to 3 in the league. Like T. Higgins is not top 10. He's not an average wide receiver. He just got paid what, 115. He's not average, but he's similar. I'm not going to call him similar to Garrett, but yeah, my point is that just because the guy's not top 10 doesn't mean he's average. Maybe he's not Justin Jefferson. Maybe he's not going to be Jamar Chase. Maybe he never will be. But like, we got our guy. We're not going to have a Cincinnati offense. We learned we're going to have more of like a run off. Like, we're still going to need a wide receiver, and we have a guy. Whether he's going to be a 1 or a 1A or a really strong 2, if we draft the greatest wide receiver and Tet turns into like Mike Evans, like, we just don't know the future. I just think the word average is what really triggered a lot of Jets fans today.
How's New York City today, Nate? Is it an average day, above average day? What would you say?
It's slightly above average. Actually, no. For this time of year, it's gorgeous. For this time of year, it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's supposed to be like in the high 70s tomorrow, apparently, right?
Yes. Yeah, Saturday's going to be what? It was going to touch 80, I thought, almost.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Great day for baseball. I know a lot of people are going to the Yankee game.
Yep. Unfortunately, I will not be, but I will be outdoors at some point. I have a wedding.
On a completely different note, Jake, can I ask you a question or a request rather? And because I know you have your weekly guest, but maybe we could take a week off of Faria. I've been really intrigued. Like, I've been looking into Justin Fields and looking into Bears. Like, he was obviously there for 4 years. I had 2 coworkers of mine who were major Steelers fans who absolutely loved Justin Fields and thought when they benched him, they both told me at the time, they thought it was because they wanted to pay him in the offseason and didn't want the number to get astronomically big where they wouldn't be able to fit him in the cap. And they still, like, it's weird that the Steelers benched him and wanted him back this offseason. But anyway, my point was, if you read Bears fans, players, comments, reporters, like anyone, Justin Fields is absolutely beloved. Like, all of us love Garrett Wilson. I want to put the C on his chest. And this guy had a similar winning percentage to Zach Wilson in Chicago. So I don't know if you could have a Chicago YouTuber on or anyone that knows the Bears, like, what makes this guy so lovable? Like, anytime he had a good game, you look at comment sections of his highlights, or like I said, Bears blogs or Reddits or anything, they wanted him to be QB1, and everyone absolutely loved this play. He was there was a favorite player on their team. And I just want to know, like, what about him? Like, is something on the field about his play? Like I said, his record wasn't the great. So I don't know if you could have a Bears guy on to break down, like, why we are going to fall in love with this guy, as it seems many Bears fans and Steelers fans did in like a few weeks.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you bring that up. It's in the works. I can tell you that. Getting someone on that covered Fields in both Pittsburgh and Chicago. So definitely. Now, I do have to tell you, though, Nick Ferrier is coming on with us this afternoon. So we're not benching Ferrier. We just moved the time around.
All right. I only like the tease Ferrier, but it is a lot of fun. Because I also know he reads it. He's one of the few guests that is always reading the chat. So I just love seeing those facial reactions.
You like
when
the
he reads.
troll.
Jake, I like being involved in the community. I like interactions.
I like having you in the community, Nate.
I know. It is a lot of fun, and I'll definitely be there on the 6th.
Yeah, baby.
But it's not only me that likes to troll. I got trolled hard yesterday by all you Yankee fans, Jake, for one at bat.
You kind of deserve it. I mean, you were talking so much crap.
And I will continue to talk. How was Paul Goldschmidt yesterday? How was Goldie looking at the plate in 2025
Well, we didn't.
I know Jay's typing want to know in the chat. I know Jay's
$800 million, you know. So it's
I didn't pay Juan Soto jack shit. And the tickets are even cheaper this year. I bought a Mets package too this year. I'm being for a couple of playoff games, hopefully.
Are you concerned though about the 162 pace?
Listen, we're on pace to never win a game. So until 8:10 p.m. tonight, I'm very concerned. And it seems like the pitching staff is totally backwards. Our 2 best pitchers are pitching in the next series, I guess, because they don't want Peterson to go against a full righty lineup that the Astros have. But we'll be all right. I do love watching the Soto shuffle. Like, I understand why. Like, for the first time in my life, I watched that bat like, wow, this is entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has that, as the kids like to say, as the Connor Longs like to say, he's got that aura, Jake. He just has that aura. Like the shuffle, the faces, the antics at the plate. That's what we need more in baseball if you want the young people to watch it. So he's got entertaining at bats. I'll give you that. It'll be fun to watch. I hope Nate Jr., who doesn't exist yet, as a sperm, gets to watch Juan Soto in 10 years. It's as exciting that they and it's also exciting that we triggered a lot of Yankee fans. That's always fun. I've never seen Yankee fans.
Are you
Go ahead.
telling us something? Are you
No, I'm not
expecting a
pregnant.
child soon?
No, I'm not pregnant. I'm just saying, like, it's a very long contract, and the guy is a pretty good player. It's just
How long have you been dating Bianca?
3 years. We just went to our anniversary dinner at a nice jazz club last weekend.
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
When's the ring coming, Nate?
Listen, the ring might be she's not pushing, like, she doesn't need she's not one of those, like, okay, I need this, I need this, I need this. We're both more aligned of, like, we're trying to live our life and not have a kid interrupted. And, like, my parents, my mom had me at, like, 39, like, right at the finish line, right where you can't do it anymore. And I don't know, I'm trying to, like I work with kids for a living, so I kind of get a lot of the fun stuff and don't have to deal with wiping assholes. So for now, I'm okay with that. But we'll see. And I kind of got someone who's kind of on the same boat. It's like, yeah, let's kind of live our 20s and 30s, and then maybe do the kid a little bit later into the 30s.
Well, you don't need to have a kid after you get married immediately.
Well, we're also, like, we're not the ones that are gonna, like, I'm gonna piss off the whole, like, gen, all the boomers, but it's like, watch, thank you. You saw that door popping out? That would have been terrible because I got a coffee in my hand. Like, we're not rushing, like, oh my God, I need to have his last name right now, and I want to split all the money right now. It's more like we could say we're married tomorrow. We're both on that same page. Like, do we want to do that? But we're not ready to, like, run to the courthouse and split finances and a last name.
I'll tell you what, Nate, that's going to be a great Asmaniac wedding. So just you let us know.
Oh, indeed, it'll be at MetLife right after Hawk and Sarah's.
Bianca's getting a ring before the Jets get a ring. I can promise.
Yeah,
you
no, I promise I will not wait for a Super Bowl to do it, or I might end my life alone.
Nate, great call. Appreciate you, man.
Cheers, Jake.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nate, parentheses, Nate. What a call by Nate. The Nate, parentheses, Nate wedding could be coming. Maybe never. Maybe soon. We don't know. Bino with a super chat. Jake, I'm seeing a trend. Whoever Brigga gives the nod in this tournament wins. I told you, Dave Brigga's like a kingmaker. He endorses you, you win. Dre wants to know, when is the draft party? Dre, I'm glad you asked. The night of the draft, April 24th. Get your ticket, Dre. We need you there. I'm not doing the party unless you're there. So to everyone who bought tickets, you're shit out of luck if Dre doesn't show up. All right? Those are the rules. There's no party unless Dre Cray is there. Click the link in the description, Dre, and you will be able to get a ticket. All right, we got to move fast here. Charleston, Jet Rube, and then we declare a winner. If you're on hold, I apologize. We'll get you up first in the afternoon show. What's up, Charleston, Jet Rube?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, it's going to be OBP or OPB versus Rickie NY. One Punch Brigga, Rickie NY. That's your final right there.
You think that's the final? Wow.
You know, I really think Rickie's super underrated. You know, he doesn't do anything crazy or anything else, but he has some really good football takes. And, you know, I've been watching for a couple years, and it really seems like a lot of what he says comes to fruition. So I think he's a great caller. And, I mean, you can't go against OPB. I'm sure you're down with OPB.
I just want the best matchups possible. And whoever the people vote, I mean, that's it. This is a tournament for the Asmaniacs by the Asmaniacs.
It's pretty spectacular. But, you know, the main reason I called in, I got on late today, and a few callers back, I was talking about Chris Olave. I'm still not 100% sure how that even came to people talking about it, but that's definitely not something I want to do. I mean,
I don't even think he's available.
What's that?
I don't even think he's available.
That's what I'm saying. But, like, it would be cool to have him and Garrett with Fields and all that other stuff. But the thing that worries me, if we get a guy like him, we're going to have to pay him. Just theoretically, let's say he was available. We'd have to give up some picks, and we'd probably have to sign him for close to $25 million a year. And what's that going to do to our other guys? You know, I know Jermaine Johnson's coming off the injury and all that, but I mean, I want to keep Jermaine Johnson, and I get what Connor Long was saying about Breece Hall. I really do. But, you know, now that he's a little ways removed from, you know, his injury, hopefully our offensive line can be a little bit better this year. I'm not ready to give up on him, and I just feel like if we bring in some really other big name guys, that's going to sacrifice. We haven't had many homegrown guys that we can be proud of to sign, man. Let's just get these guys done. Let's just get them all done. The only one that makes me a little bit nervous is Brees Hall, but let's see how he does this year. Let's see how he does with some competent coaching, hopefully. A team like, I don't know what happened last year, and I'm a huge Rodgers guy. I mean, I lived in the Twin Cities in Minnesota for years being a Jets fan, and people hating Aaron Rodgers, and I was a big fan of his. But let's be honest, his last year here wasn't all that great, and I know it was one of our top 5 to 10 seasons of all time, but that really doesn't take a whole lot to eclipse as far as a quarterback's concerned. But
it was a bad year, but doesn't mean he wouldn't have still been their best option for one more year.
I agree, and I'm right there with you. I'm just saying that I do like, this is kind of doing a little bit of a difference. I wanted to get this in though, but I do like this Josh Reynolds pick. I like it a lot. And the reason why I like it a lot is because I think this new coaching staff can get a little something out of Corley. And I think our 3, 4, 5 wide receiver, because I don't think Lazard's going to be here. I don't want Lazard. I'm sick and tired of that guy dropping balls. And the last thing Justin Fields needs is a guy that he hits 25, 30 yards down the field and he drops it every other time. I'm so sick of that. But I mean, I think if we can get a wide receiver in the first, second, maybe even the third round that we can slot in as the 2, I think this Josh Reynolds pick really can end up being pretty good, because if we can get a decent rookie at 2, get Tyler Warren like I want to do, I mean, that's not bad. You got Garrett Wilson as your 1. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be a top 10 right away, but I think you can count on, within a couple years, Tyler Warren being a top 10 tight end.
He better be. He's honestly, if you're taking him that high, he's got to be a top 5 tight end in the league.
Yeah, and I don't think you can necessarily get that for your first year, but I totally think that that's somewhere we can get with him. But if we can get ourselves someone pretty good, like Besh or someone like that, and then we got Josh Reynolds as 3rd, and then I mean, there's got to be some kind of heartbeat coming out of Malachi Corley too. I mean, I just think last year was just absolutely ridiculous about how they bragged. Well, we were trying to trade up for him all the way through the 2nd round. And then it's like, talk about talking something up and then having absolutely no results. That was the fucking Saleh fucking regime. It was ridiculous. And the more I think about this, the more and more I'm warming up to Aaron Glenn. And, with how we think we're going to run our offense, I'm really starting to get a little more excited about Justin Fields. I really am, because I'm sorry, I think Garrett Wilson's better than DJ Moore. Look at that year in, what was it, 2023 that DJ Moore had with him? Like 1,300 yards or something? I'm sorry, but if DJ Moore can do that, I see no reason why Garrett Wilson can't do that. I really don't. I don't think that's too extreme to ask for. And I think Garrett Wilson was on the way that last year to those numbers if Devontae Adams didn't come in. I mean, those last 5 or 6 games, it was almost like Garrett didn't even exist in Aaron Rodgers' mind,
I mean, he had 100 yards against the Texans and a touchdown that night, 2 of them.
Outside of that game, though.
I mean, the Jaguar game, he found the end zone too. I think a good call. I think we act like Garrett Wilson had no role in the offense once they got Devontae, which wasn't true. And guys, Devontae balled. All right, it's like he was throwing to a scrub. Devontae Adams was still great. That was part of my argument to keep Rodgers for a year, because then you get Devontae back, and we don't have this gaping hole at receiver. I think you overrated Josh Reynolds there too. Like, he's coming off a bad year. He's 30 now. I don't know. I don't think he's a needle mover. I think he's an Allen Lazard replacement. Like, Allen Lazard's not good either. It is what it is. I mean, to your point on Warren and the weapons, they have to hit on them. If they do that, then they could be a lot better than we think. That's asking a lot. The Jets don't hit on 2nd or 3rd round wide receivers or tight ends. Stack says hit the like. He's right. Ladies and gentlemen, It is time to declare a winner in ASMANIAC Madness. Congrats are in order to Rickie NY, who has taken down the 5 seed, Mikey Midnight. Rickie 59, Mikey 40, 652 votes. Incredible performance by the voters. Both candidates are excellent. I think Mikey's a lot higher than a 5 seed a year from now as more people get to know him. And both guys are on the line right now to react to the results. Rickie and Mikey. Gentlemen, job well done by both of you.
Rickie,
I'm sorry,
Rickie,
Mikey.
I love you. You go all the way. I want you to go all the way. You own all.
Oh, no, Mikey, your internet's not great, but I heard part of that. He wants Rickie to go all the way. How about that? How about losing with grace like Mikey there, supporting Rickie?
Yes, Mikey's my homeboy, man. Love Mikey. I'm shocked. I'm still shocked that I beat him. Like I said, I voted for him. That's the first thing I did when I turned the show on today. That as soon as the poll came up, I voted for Mikey. But wow, yeah, I really appreciate that. Listen, I just got to say this. Garrett Wilson had identical numbers to CeeDee Lamb last year. CeeDee Lamb is an average. Garrett had like the best catch of any receiver in the NFL, the catch of the year, the last 2 years in a row, because he did it in Buffalo week 1 the year before too, that one-handed catch that he had that was just amazing. Garrett is, I would say, an equal player to Amon St. Brown, except he's got even more freakish body control. I haven't St. Brown makes some good catches, but I haven't seen him make the Garrett Wilson catches, and Garrett's done it with not good quarterback play a lot of the time. There's just nothing average about him. I would give him the St. Brown deal in a heartbeat, and it's not Breece Hall's vision I'm worried about. It's Connor Long's. Dude, if you think Garrett is average, man, see the optometrist quickly.
Wow.
Garrett's very good. We can't. I love Connor, but come on, man. We can't let Garrett go anywhere. Garrett right now, in spite of the offense holding him back to a degree, I would rank him probably 6 or 7 in the NFL right now as it stands, with his ability and the catches that he's made. And he's just a great character guy too, that wants to be here. So yeah, we got to get that one taken care of. Absolutely. And thank you to everybody that voted for me. I really appreciate it. I'm really surprised. I didn't think I would make it this far, and I certainly did not think that I would survive today. But who knows?
Hey, don't let Rickie NY get hot.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe it's his year for all his teams to win, and I guess that makes me lucky to be one of them. So thanks again to everybody. I appreciate it, man. You guys are awesome.
Rickie, great call. Congrats. J-Quest and Rickie NY in the Sweet 16. If you're a fan of the Jets, those two guys are diehard, passionate Jet fans. That's a great Sweet 16 right there. My bracket is officially cooked. I had Mikey winning the whole thing. My final 4 was Charles, Neil, Mikey, and Lane. And my bracket is officially cooked in our bracket pool. Top 3 prizes in our bracket pool, if you filled out a bracket, include a Sauce jersey, Jermaine jersey, and I think it's a Corbett jersey, all signed. But my bracket is screwed. That's what makes March Madness fun. It's madness. ASMANIAC Madness. The best tournament ever. Congrats to Rickie. Great job by Mikey. See with a super chat at the buzzer here. I agree with Rickie. Pay that man already. I do think they're going to pay him. I just don't have a timeline on that. With that said, that's a show. We're back this afternoon for a great matchup. Craig from Australia. Jets Johnny Can a 14 seed get to the Sweet 16? We've seen a 15 seed and Dave Brigga get there. Can Johnny do it? Or is Craig going to continue to represent the international Jet fans across the globe? We'll find out this afternoon. That's a show, folks. A damn good one. If you want a raffle prize, please reach out so I can send it to you. AsmanJake@gmail is my email. You can message me on the Discord. You can message me also on Patreon if that's easier for you. Just get in touch with me so I can get your information to make sure that I send you the prizes that you won. Once again, what a show. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. We got plenty more where that came from this afternoon. 4 p.m. hour, live with the Nick Faria. In honor of Rickie winning, here's a classic moment in Rickie NY history.
Rickie NY is up next. Hello, Rickie.
Okay, did you lose me?
What's up, Rickie?
At any rate, I will be calling back soon with different Wi-Fi.
You're the man, Rickie.
Hey, there we go. Light it up, Rickie. Yeah. Let's get back to your calls right now. One of our favorites is on the Gustbuster hotline. Rickie NY joins us now. What's up, Rickie?
Hey, Jake.
Hey, Rickie, how you doing?
Thanks for taking my call, Jake. I just finished smoking all the available weed in the panhandle, so bear with me if I collapse here in front of my personalized flag. Any chance you could send that boxing guy, Gary, to the Jameis Winston town? Maybe Gator can build a special hall for quarterbacks who throw more interceptions than completed passes. Well, not a Florida guy, but can go to Seminoles all the way there. I've got a whole lot. Let's get all of them in there. I don't give a shit. Well, I think I got to relight this thing. Hold on a second. I just got this new blowtorch lighter. Let's try it out. Try it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Should have backed off that setting a bit. Anyway, Jake, I'll hang up for now and grab the burn kit again. Later, brother.
Oh, my God.
Yo, Gator is different, man. That dude is different.